Beep, beep. Howdy and aloha. Welcome to Mana Talk. The earth and you are ohana. We hope you'll stay and talk. Oh, that's so pretty. Except I'm saying it. Ooh. Anyway, howdy and aloha, everybody. Welcome to Mana Talk. This is James with Mana Talk. And, I gotta fix the thing here. Mana Talk is where people come on. You have the mic, you have the stage, you're part of the group, and get to hang out and be part of the club. It's not a big club, but it's a club. I'd say it's more like a cult. Right? Christian, what's up, bro? Hola, hola. ¿Qué pasó, amigo? Okay, so, more people. Gosh, you know what? I need to get my glasses. Hang on. Cheryl, Vic. Hello, Cheryl. Welcome as usual. Show's so fun to have on. So it's where people come on and hang out and talk about certain things, or mostly not drama crap. We're talking usually about politics, mostly domestic, sometimes foreign, international at times, but mainly right now our big topics are what the fuck is happening in the United States. There's a lot of crap going on. My core goal here is to try to save the planet and all of its inhabitants. I know it's crazy, but it's just somebody's got to fucking try something because it's getting crazy out there. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let's get down to business. So I want to say thank you to the people in the galley, and I'm talking about the live chat. And the reason why is because you guys are vital. And let me explain. Everyone that I've watched that is paying attention to their live chat while they're in YouTube, when they're reading it, occasionally or when they can, if they're doing their rant or their rave or they're, trying to make a comment or something like that or whatever, and they'll glance over and they'll read something and they'll go and they'll learn something. Somebody will post some breaking news. Somebody will post maybe a correction. Maybe somebody will post something that you brain farted and couldn't remember, like help like that. But it's a joint learning experience. It's good to have people in the live chat. That could have been the reason why YouTube decided to include the live chat in their recordings now, so you can see it, because they're saying those people are important. They're vital. They're making comments and their perspectives, and some of them throw out laid claims, some of them are trolling, whatever, but they're a part of the conversation. That's here and on the screen, but they're part of the conversation, which is important. And I'm saying I don't always get to it because I'm usually babbling and stuff, but carry on, sir. Outstanding. I tip my hat to you all in the live chat. I like watching Rob Placone recently. He's so great. He really is bringing out a lot of interesting issues. He's got things lined up really well when he's talking, and he fucking is a great entertainer, by the way, when he's playing. But he's learning from. I noticed that he's learning things as he's talking about them. Because he's hearing what true progressives are really talking about out there. And the thing that I'm noticing the most is we can't stop. We have to continue these conversations. You guys have to bring that information. I have to do what I can to bring the information. I mean, when you have 44 districts out there, and in the United States that are going to be, that we have 57, okay, uh, intelligence, past or present or current, intelligence agency individuals running for Congress just out of fucking nowhere. I mean, and people are just learning that from live chat. And they're learning it from people talking about it like me, because I just told you. We have the CIA, NSA, FBI. We have people that are just blatantly just saying, I was part of the CIA. You should vote for me. I was part of the FBI. You should vote for me. Well, if you've seen the movies, so there's a lot of movies out there that would definitely think otherwise, stuff done by like Oliver Stone. There are a lot of people out there that are saying, why in the fuck are these guys just infiltrating? Because they are infiltrating. They are trying to take positions and fully control our political system. They don't want to lose control. I am telling you right now, this is a threat. This means they're going after it. They're going to go for the whole fucking ball of wax. If you want to call it fascism, be my fucking guest. If you want to call it a kleptocracy at a gigantic proportion that's starting to just invade. It's like space invaders. They're fucking everywhere. Oh, Truth in Charge, what's up? RSFO, how you doing? Mushroom to you too, sir. This is nothing new. Been going on before grandparents were born. No, the influx has been very big recently. Nothing new. Nash, come on, Nash. I'm telling you, 57. That's like the record. That's like blows away the record. Yes, you've had this person, that person taking a position, but these are like Senate seats and House seats. Okay, these are people that are going to definitely, and now they're going to be more intertwined with, everybody's saying the deep state, the shadow government. I call them the mosquito dick club. So I'm just saying it's it's just getting really weird out there. Yes, we've had infiltration. We've had lots of weird things and stuff happen in regards to the two-party oligarchy or the elites just running the country. Yes, that's happened throughout time. But in this country, it's getting a little out of hand. It's getting a little noticeable, and they don't even care anymore. They're just going for it. So that's very concerning. And that information, again, comes from people in the galley. There's a lot of information. So again, it's good to have people in the live chat that are talking about all kinds of things. It's good to see that when people are doing their YouTubes, that they're not just doing their narrative or their talking points, or just trying to get a message out, which I think is important if it's valid and it makes sense and it needs to be told or said. I think that's important. But at the same time, you need to kind of check in with the people that are following you, like Nash and Ryan Bannock. And what's up, Ryan? And Rebel. Mana Talk, and everybody that comes on the live chat. And Stevie from Redneck Economics. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Anyway, howdy and aloha, everybody. This is James with Mana Talk. I just want to say thank you to YouTube for allowing that to happen. But we don't know how long that's going to happen. And that's why I have the extra security of having the galley or the live chat posted just in case they want to change their mind. Maybe they don't like the information. Who fucking knows? They do some crazy shit sometimes. So we keep it in the chat anyway. And I know Ryan Bannock does it. Ryan from Australia. I know that definitely Eben does it. Eben Kim or Tequila Mockingbird does it. But I think it's important. And I just want to let you know that Susie Dawson is now a friend of mine on Facebook. Right? I was actually, I don't, maybe it's not even her. Maybe it's I better check that. Maybe it's not Susie Dawson. Maybe it's like a Susie Dawson in like Arkansas or something. But I'm pretty sure it is her. Hey Bob, how you doing? Bob Raymersma. 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 Dude, you got to come on here and show us how to say your name, bro. I'm sorry. Security, like tinfoil, depends exactly. So we can start talking about that. There's all kinds of things to talk about. Is there? You know what? Like I've always said, I would rather be talking about like surfing. I'd like to talk about coaching. I'd like to talk about just stuff out there like that has nothing to do with. I would just like to not even just live my life peacefully, knowing that I have health care, my infrastructure's good, everybody's doing well and making enough money. We're going to the movies. We're doing this. We're doing that, and not even worry about the threat of us going into another nation and making friends. Speaking of going into another nation and the military, I've just got to say, let me see if I can bring that up right here. Oh, here she is, Miss America. Actually, I think she should be the president of the United States coming up here pretty soon. And that would be, who am I talking about? This girl, right? My daughter, Liana, just passed her test and took a huge course in Germany because she's stationed in England, Aachen. And she's now a sergeant. That's 4 chevrons. That's that place where you've got to be. You got to be cool with those people because they will. But she's not like that. She's not one of those people. She's like, just do your job. You don't fucking have to worry about me. But what's really cool is this. But she did such a great job. Oh, here's a close up. Do I even? Okay, I'll do it. What the hell? All right. Everybody, cover your eyes. Careful. All right, there she is. She didn't even look real. She fucking photo. That's not what she looks like. Just letting you guys know. She fully photoshopped that. That was she just did a lot of work and photoshopped it, and that's why you're seeing what you're seeing right now. She looks nothing like that. Nothing. So anyway, congratulations to my fantastic daughter who is now a sergeant. She'll get her chevrons in May, and I'm very proud of her. Good job. So let me. This is important. This is important. So over the course of several decades, let's just say maybe even a century or so, this nation has created so many wonderful friends all over the place. Ben Schwann recently did a segment on how we as a nation have overturned, influenced, colluded, killed, destroyed, dismembered, and I mean, corrupted in so many instances other countries. So here's a good example. What was that movie with? It's called Charles something. Hold on, it'll come to me. Okay, Tom Hanks was in it, and it was something. He was playing a senator. Uh, Charlie Wilson's War. Okay, and Charlie Wilson's War is a true story. True story. They beefed it up and made it all pretty and stuff like that. But we were helping Al Qaeda at the time, actually talking to Osama bin Laden and giving them surface to air missiles to take out the Russian helicopters that were coming out and fucking them up really bad. So we did that. But guess what we also did? Nothing after the publicity ran out. It was just to get an election won. It was just it, it was these people were used, these poor people that were being destroyed and dismembered and killed. We use them as we're going to go send surface to air missiles and we need the funding and then we did it and then they took care of it. Then we left and later on they came back and they got fucked. Charlie Wilson's War. Okay? Watch how that works. It's really fucked up. So my point is, we've created just so many friends all over the world. We have friends over here, we have friends over there, and you know what? Why do we need a military if we've got so many friends? Why do we need a military? Because we've done so many wonderful things for so many countries. Why do we need a military if we have done so many wonderful things for so many countries out there? Answer is, it's bullshit. We have interfered in tons of things. I want you to try to look up that Ben Schwann segment that he did. Is really great. Like, we're talking about 13 people that we're never going to indict by Robert fucking I am all for weapons of mass destruction bullshit in Iraq because of 9/11, using that fucking bullshit as well. So we have to protect ourselves now. We have to have the Navy. We have to have the Air Force. We have to have the Marines. We have to have the Coast Guard. Okay, we have to have the Army. We have to have the National Guard. Okay. The National Guard is just in case. We'll go through that someday. I'm always concerned about the National Guard and what they're going to do. But anyway, so we've made so many wonderful friends. We have to have a military to protect ourselves from ourselves and what we've done to ourselves. Since we've actually made more a plethora of fucking enemies all over the world. When Trump just recently said, Israel is going to be the place of Jesus, or whatever the fuck he says, the capital, right? Israel, Jerusalem, the capital, like the place, the holiest place. He wanted to say that. And like 129 countries are saying, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot? I mean, these people, and I'm saying this because I really believe at some point, and I'm really scared for my daughter in this fact, is that I think some countries may, if we continue down this path of orchestrating and putting our hands in wars for our nation's interests, okay, if we keep doing that, some of these countries are already starting to write us off. They're already starting to say, you know what, if that guy fucking does that anymore, I am not going to fucking help him. If that fucking idiot keeps doing that shit, I'm just going to let him get his ass kicked. That's what I think. They're going to turn the cheek. They're not even, I think they're at that point, honestly. I think there's a lot of countries that are now talking with each other saying the U.S. is turning into a fucking crazy ass nutcase superpower and they need to be taught a lesson. Okay? I mean, they teach lessons to us by themselves anyway. They teach their own lessons to their own citizens, right? Don't let me get into 9/11. I'm just saying. But honestly, we have to have a military to protect ourselves, from all the damage that we've done to so many countries out there. That's the reason why we have the military. And that's the reason why I need people out there, and you need people out there on that wall, standing on that wall, being on that wall, to protect us, because we've made a lot of fucking enemies in a pretty short amount of time. So anyway, my hat goes off to my daughter and all the servicemen that are protecting us. Definitely. I wish you guys didn't have to do that. Maybe one day we'll evolve. Maybe one day we'll go, you know what? I don't need a fucking border. Let's just travel around and visit places and see everything. And that's asking for way too much. Anyway, hopefully we will eventually evolve, and that's part of why I have this show. I'm hoping that one day people will start to just become more transparent and honest, and, but I don't know if it's in our genes. I don't know if it's in our genes. I was watching the movie Annihilation. If you've seen the movie Annihilation with the girl who played the Black Swan, she also was, I can't. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. She was also in Star Wars. Princess Amidala or whatever. that movie brought up a very important point. Genetically, we break down. The older turtles, genetically, certain species of turtles, the larger ones, I don't know the exact whatever the fucking name is, they're genetically built to last longer than we are. It's coded in their genes. We know we're only supposed to be here a certain amount of time. And it's almost like we're supposed to kind of self-destruct at a certain point in our lives. Like we're supposed to, like we're constantly sabotaging ourselves. It's almost like that's part of our makeup. And if you watch a movie, you'll get these little hints in there. Like we constantly are, it's either a quick death where you kill yourself with suicide, this one lady said. Well, she got eaten by a fucking deformed bear. Oh, shit, sorry. Uh, should have alerted you. But she also said or you have a slow death. You just eat shitty for the rest of your life. You eat Twinkies and pizzas, or you smoke and drink and all this other stuff, and you just continue to kill yourself. But no matter what you do, you're not going to last that long because your genes, your DNA, it's already set. You've only got so much time to be here. Which I think is very fucked up, God. Fucker. But that's just, which brings me to, which has to make you think, not to get too far out there. Let's just say we're an intelligent design, ant farm theory, right? And we're just an experiment, and they did gene therapy, and they created us from monkeys because we're only like 2 chromosomes away from them, or 1 or 2, whatever. So, and then they installed the failsafe of us over time screwing ourselves up. What if we could break that? What if we could actually evolve? What if we can get over that hump? Whoa, right? I should be stoned right now. Dude, what if we could fucking not kill each other anymore, bro? What if we could, just not hurt each other or ourselves and just, take care of each other better and, just fucking have sex all the time, bro? Wouldn't that be... I mean, not with you, bro. But you know what I'm saying, bro? Why can't we just all fucking get along? Right? Nope, we've got to have militaries. We've got to have our sons and daughters in militaries. Nah, I'm Superwoman. Invisible for eternity. Oh, that's her. Rebel. Rebel just said it. That's what she is. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, da-da. I don't know what that means. After the first message of you, Twinkie pizza, maybe. Yeah, I'm just saying. Some people will self-sabotage themselves. They'll get so far in their lives, well, they're kind of... God, this shit's kind of tight, but I had a go-to meet. I had a Zoom meeting earlier, so I'm going to take this shit off pretty soon. People do kind of self-sabotage themselves. It's like they're not used to being happy, joyful, and happy and joyful and triumphant and celebrating and being accepting that they're worth joy. Joy and pain, sunshine and rain. Let me hear God children joy. You got to hit doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. But anyway, you got to enjoy life, and you've got to allow it to come to you. You've got to just keep going, keep moving, keep grooving, laugh, sing, act like never grow up. Never grow up. Never grow up. That's number one. Number one rule from Jim. Never grow up. Never. Okay, I just sounded like I was from India, but maybe my heritage is from India. So anyway, we need to evolve. It's good that we have some live chat people on here all the time, bringing great information to us. Whether it's breaking news or something that's correcting us or spelling checking or giving us information that we forgot. Natalie Portman. I fucking, I fucking, I fucking tripped myself out, man. It's so funny. No, I'm not funny. I laugh at myself. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put this up. So here we are, people. If you guys want to come on, you're all more than welcome to. It's a great place to hang out and talk and share and get to know. What the fuck? What screen am I on right now? Jeez Louise. Um, yeah, and then also there is an infiltration, in my professional opinion, from the information that I pulled up, showing that 57 new candidates out there are running for some positions that are or were in the intelligence services out there. And honestly, it's a little bit alarming because it's a little more than usual. Actually, a lot more. It's like 2/3. So it's like a big influx of people. You know, I love this country, man. I love that some of the leaders that have been here before and past, but I'm telling you, there's just a bunch of fucking dumbocrats and Republicans now. And that's why I went to the Green Party. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of their shaming us. I am sick and tired of how they embarrass us. I am sick and tired of like if I go to Canada, if I go to Mexico, people look at me, oh, you're American? You're fucking stupid. You know, whatever. You know, it's ridiculous. So that's why I went green. When's the last time a green person ever fucked you over? I mean, politically. I mean, you know, in the political spectrum. That's what I'm trying to say. Probably never. So why not give them a fucking shout? Yeah, my daughter's pretty. Jeez Louise, woman. Okay, where are we at? Live chat, come in. But I'm gonna post this everywhere. I'm gonna see if I can get. I'm gonna give it to Jared. I'm gonna send one to Jared Beck. Jared Beck, got on here. What's going on with the DNC fraud lawsuit, bro? Tell us. We want to know. You know, I haven't heard anything with that. Does anybody have any updates? Anybody? Anybody out there with any updates? Live chat's up. I'm just going to throw it on the tweet. Get some peoples in. I'm going to go. You know what? I'm also going to put it on my Facebook right here. Right there. And I'm going to post it on here. And Green Party Mike. Green Party Mike? Green Party Mike. What's up, Green Party Mike? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Welcome.
Thanks. Hey, James. You know me on Facebook. I'm Michael Green Gonzalez on there.
Oh yeah, what's up, bro? Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good. I didn't recognize you right off the bat, but it's good to have you on
Yeah,
here.
right. I got all the gray on my face. That's why.
Oh yeah, I know. I want to. If I let this stuff go out, I could be Santa Claus for sure. Definitely, I could be Santa Claus.
Hey, I wanted to say a couple of things.
Go ahead, bro. I already did my monologue, so rock and roll, man.
Yeah, I wanted to bring attention to a candidate we have by the name of Rodolfo Cortez.
Okay.
Berrigan, and he's down in the LA area. Is that where you're at? Are you down in the LA area?
I'm in Anaheim, next to Disneyland.
Oh, okay. Well, he's running for Congress in the 40th district for U.S. Congress in California's 40th district. He's a Green Party, and he will make it to the general because of California's top two primary system, and there's only two candidates, so it's him against the incumbent. So I want your viewers to know that yeah, Rodolfo Cortez
Yep.
Berrigan is going to make it to the general election for the Green Party, and if you guys can support him, it'd be awesome.
Oh fuck yeah, we will. If he's going to the general, I am. Yes, we definitely have to do that. I think I've spoken to him maybe once or twice. Let me just see. Rodolfo Cortez. I'm searching through my. Oh shit. Does he have a Twitter or is it a? I'm looking for him
Try him
on
on
Twitter.
Facebook. Try him on Facebook. I think
Yeah,
he does have a Twitter, but try him on
yeah. I'm
Facebook.
trying him on Facebook right now. Rodolfo. Oh, there's a no at the end, Jim. Rodolfo. Go ahead. Is there anything else?
Um, not necessarily. I interviewed another candidate today, Louis Elbinger, and he has 28 years experience in the State Department.
Uh-huh.
He was the deputy political advisor for General Petraeus, and he was the acting political advisor for General Mattis. Um, and he's also a candidate for U.S. Congress in California's District 1. He's not. He's up against several Democrats and some Republicans, so it's going to be hard for him to get in there. But he's a very qualified and interesting candidate.
Can you see your screen? Is this the right guy? I don't. I don't.
It says Rodolfo Cortez.
Yeah, it says.
Yeah, I don't see.
I can put it on the YouTube too. So hang on. No, this is. I don't think this is him. Okay, my bad. Let me search a little more.
Sure.
I wanted to put up his. I'm going to put up his webpage. I'm also going to post his information, for donations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get him. Rodolfo for Congress. That's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah, Southeast. All right. So I'm going to go now to his page, and I'm going to post it on the YouTube, and I'll also put it in this as well. Rodolfo for Congress. There it is right there. Okay.
James, I just want to let you know, yes, you are friends with Susie Dawson. The Susie Dawson, yeah.
Yep, that's
I
him.
am?
That's Rodolfo.
All right.
Rodolfo is a Stanford-educated doctor, so he's extremely qualified. And if you have talked to him, he'd be a good interview for you. By the way, he's very likable.
I would love to bring him on here and just kind of pick his brain. What's really great about the Greens is we're all so united in everything we're talking about. It's almost like I can just go through the lightning round litmus test. Single payer, yes. Infrastructure, yes. No more wars, yes. Just really fast. And then get to know the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just so cool.
Well, we have the progressive platform, right? We're the benchmark on the progressive side of the political spectrum, I think.
For sure.
So, Green Party Mike, if I could ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Pick your brain a little bit. But what's your feel on a Jesse Ventura nomination?
I'm not real familiar with Jesse Ventura. I don't know what his entire platform is. I think he is a bold candidate in that he's willing to state his ideas without fear of being politically correct. And I do like that about him. I would want to hold my opinion of him as far as we back him until I know more about his platform. But
well, I mean, he doesn't really have a platform to run on right now since he's not running. But
yeah. Well, I think he's bold. And I think he is a progressive, and he's an independent thinker, which I think is a great quality for anybody who's running for office.
Because he did say that if he does run for president, he will run with the Green Party. That's confirmed.
That would be good.
That would be fucking awesome.
We need personalities in the Green Party, so he might bring something. At the same time, I do think that I don't think we should always be just voting for celebrities. You know what I mean? I'm not on the Oprah bandwagon. Just because she's a celebrity. but I do think he's a bold candidate with independent ideas.
You know, it's about policy. Policy always important.
Right.
What?
Thank you, Steve. Steve Carrera just sent me his information on Facebook.
Oh,
Okay,
awesome.
so if it, yes, Steve Carrera. Thank you, Steve Carrera. You're awesome.
Mike, have you ever spoken like on a stage before with? Because I think I've seen you before, and it's crazy.
Oh, okay. So I run the Green Party of Santa Clara County's YouTube page, and I interview candidates.
Oh, that's where I'm.
Yeah, so you might know my voice more than you know my face, because I actually don't show myself in the interviews. I just let them. I just keep their face on the interviews. But
Actually, I remember your face from somewhere.
I remember him now. Well, that's good.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time I saw you. I remember it was all positive. It was like, damn, that guy is good. He knows his crap. That was my attitude.
Oh, shit.
You know what I find is that as I've been interviewing, I've interviewed, about 15 candidates for the Green Party here in California. And as I interview them, they make me smarter.
No, that's cool.
Giving me information, and then I just keep learning more and more.
That's what's great about when you do, like, and I hear it from David too, and Stevie, and everybody that does these interviews. You not only learn about the person, but you'll actually learn about policies and legislation that's happening out there that you may not even have been aware of. It's impressive.
Yes.
And that shows that you're one of those journalists that I like, the humble ones, the ones that are just always wanting to grow and evolve as a journalist. That is actually what I remember about you.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, I started the YouTube page because I found that, media blackout. I mean, the Green Party gets blacked out of the media all the time, and it's horrible. Mm-hmm. So we need to be our own media, and I think that's what's great about what James is doing, is he's out there on the front line, bringing Green Party issues and people to the public.
That's what we out at Standing Rock, when we realized that CNN and all of them, they were not covering us.
Right.
Nobody was. It was like we were dead to them, and so we had a hashtag, We Are the Media, and we would make sure that our live streams were getting out, and we'd always hashtag We Are the Media. I'm sure it's okay to use that. I mean, if we can all just use a hashtag of something that gets us all in one spot.
Yeah, I agree.
Like sticking the finger up at the mainstream news media saying we can do it without you. They shouldn't have created hashtags in the beginning.
I don't get the hashtag thing, kind of.
Oh, it kind of unites everybody. Like, say you type in a hashtag up in the search, then everybody that uses that hashtag, you can see all there, and it's all about the same thing. So we should create our own hashtag, and then
I should make a Montauk hashtag.
Certainly,
which I think I have a couple times.
Okay.
Hashtag Aloha Revolution.
The grass skirt coconut bra revolution.
Oh, everything's gonna be so cute and so funny and so happy.
Yeah, stay positive. Always stay positive. You know what I realize is I think I definitely know that Dumbocrats out there, and I'm talking about the legislators, the judiciaries, and the executives. Now, I'm not talking about their voting republic. that have just been brainwashed and they're just watching stupid shit
We
all the
got
time.
this.
I'm talking about what I'm noticing is that their attitude has gotten worse. They've been more
Mhm.
vicious. They've been very defensive. And I know for a fact that the Greens, from what I know, we've got a great attitude about stuff. We've always and when you go to like a Green meeting, even though we're like honestly we're last, right? In a sense, we're at the back of the pack and we're trying to catch up. We still have a good attitude. We still believe, and that's which I think is huge. And I'm noticing that about Greens. And when it comes down to it, we really stick together. We're ohana.
Do
Nobody
you
gets left behind.
think that we're more apt to want to be together and like what we're doing right now than other like Republicans and Democrats? I've never known them to have live streams where they hang out and
Well, those are called clan meetings for the Republicans, right? And the other meetings for the DNC are the like mafia backroom deals where they're like chopping off people's fingers for not following instructions.
but
So there's a little difference.
okay, I got it. You're being funny. I'm sorry.
There's a little difference.
Well, I think Green Party people are humanitarians, just in general.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Why not?
Louis Eldenberg, per Stevie Carrera, by the way, excuse me, Louis Elbinger has a
Albinger.
bachelor's, an MBA, and a degree I didn't even know exists, an MSS, Master's of Strategic Studies, and then used it in the State Department, like Michael said, 84 to 2011. He's got that's that's some credentials right there for sure.
He's like the most experienced person in politics. It's not an actual elected official today. It's amazing.
For sure, that alone should qualify him. I mean, I've never spoken to him. I mean, how is he? Is he pretty like hardworking guy? Just done his thing. Just pretty simple.
Well, let me tell you this. He's very kind of a spiritual guy, very kind of Zen. He meditates every morning. He has he talks about the Silk Road in Afghanistan. And the Silk Road was a way to build industry in Afghanistan, make them economically viable. And it was a peaceful way to get out of Afghanistan and leave them healthy. America kind of abandoned that. We covered this in an interview on our channel. That's how I know about it. And he says that America abandoned that. It didn't get enough support, and now China has taken that on because, of course, China's building infrastructure all over the world to build their economic credibility and power all over the world. So it's called, I think it's called One Belt, One Road for China, but for us, it was called the New Silk Road policy that Lewis actually oversaw, and it was one of his crowning achievements. But of course, we went the military route. And we can see where that's brought us.
It's bad.
Yeah.
So that's it's like an infomercial for the Green Party. It's starting to sound like, honestly, but it's facts. We're not. I mean, I've done the research. It didn't take me a long time, but once I saw the pillars and the keys and all this other stuff, I was like, where the fuck has this place been? Because it's like we've all missed it. And it seems like what I tell people is that since 84, the foundation of what the Green Party has been about has been virtually the same. It's just that the United people in other parties are starting to get it, are starting to catch up. That's what it seems like. And of course, people have always, for a while, wanted single payer. But there's so many other things that we've already, money out of politics, ranked choice voting, all this other great stuff that definitely should start happening. But it just seems like people are starting to catch up with us, and that's how when I finally got there, I go, fuck, I feel like such an idiot, but it's not my fault. They've always shoved us in the corner, always in the corner, pushed us down over here, just kept us out of the big picture. We're there, but they just kept us out of the big picture. That's, and that comes power, influence, money from the two oligarchic parties.
James, I think it comes down to framing. Is that the other two parties and the corporate media has framed the Green Party as irrational, radical extremists, and that's not what we are. We actually had the Bernie Sanders platform before Bernie Sanders was popular, and now that he's popular and he was ripped off by the DNC, I think people are looking for that platform, and hopefully they're finding the Green Party and getting past the framing that has been done to the Green Party by, again, the media. And that's where we can help, and coming onto our platform that's always been there.
And then again, you have people like David Packman. I personally have a bone to pick with Packman.
Who doesn't?
He's supposedly promoted as independent media. I think he has a spot on free speech TV actually, but he is. I do not like. Okay, for starters, the stuff he said about Jill, like what? Okay, so he started off spreading the narrative that Jill Stein was anti-vax, and then when he was presented with Jill saying that she doesn't think that vaccines cause autism, then he says, "Well, that was a straw man. I never said that Jill thought vaccines cause autism. But you said she was anti-vax. So why would she be why in hell would she be anti-vax? Like, what's the argument?" And he never digresses. And he never expands on that because he, again, doesn't have an argument. He's a partisan tool bag, and Jill's a Harvard doctor, and and shut up.
I see
That's
him
all.
as like a typical just what do you call them? Gaslighter. He starts shit, and then all of a sudden there's all this commotion, and then he comes in and starts trying to make them feel guilty for being upset at him. That typical gaslighting thing I hate.
And he
fucking itself.
And he promotes himself as some independent outlet, and that's just not the case. It's just not the case. Not the case.
What it reminds me of is kind of like the same thing that you see with like racists and stuff. It's like they have to have a group of people that they can put down in order to feel better about themselves. So he can just shit on, third party voters and stuff like that, and build up this story like he's better than these people that voted another way, or they're childish or they're dumb because of the way that they voted. It's just like, if you want to know why somebody voted for somebody, ask them. Why are you? I mean, don't make up this crap about Russia bots and Jill Stein memes, and it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you look at it, if you're truly interested in why people vote the way they do and want to change it, well, ask him. Get out there. But he's not. He's in his bubble, man. He is totally in a bubble.
Hey, Chad.
Chad, what's going on, buddy? Welcome.
Chad.
Little early for Chad, but
Chad.
Welcome and aloha. Welcome to Monata.
Yes. Cheers.
You and the Ohana.
I know. I've told him
Stay and talk.
I told him this morning. I woke up with that song on my mind, and it's been going like all day.
I'm sorry about that, Rebel.
No, that's good.
It's in my head too. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
That's good.
I was kind of abashed about it, but now I know I am among similar mindsets. That song is so catchy. It is catchy.
Whole point.
I caught myself on it the other day.
Yep.
What?
It's very, very.
Which I need the acapella. You sent me one, but you sent me like the video of it. Like, can you record like a voice audio of you
Yeah,
singing
but here, no, I sent that an acapella, just a video, but I thought you could just take that by itself, or just take the howdy
audio?
Come on,
and
everybody, dance.
aloha. Welcome to Mana
Talk.
Talk. The earth and you are ohana.
Oh, that's right.
We hope you stay and talk.
Woo!
Oh, sorry about that.
No,
That was
don't.
brutal.
I was, because when I was singing it this morning, I was like doing my dishes and I was dancing to it. And it was like, it made me happy to be awake in the morning, which is very rare.
It was good. It's Chad made the riff with the uke.
You
No.
did?
Yeah, Chad's the one who did the tempo and the riff and everything.
Well, I commissioned it. I didn't actually play it. I didn't actually play it.
Anyway, but it sounds fantastic, and I just those words just fell out of my mouth like immediately.
Well, who played it?
Who did?
Some guy that does ukulele commercials. So I told him I wanted like a real feel good type thing, and then he sent me this riff, this whole thing, and then I had him kind of cut it up and end it in a certain way.
Oh, wow.
Change the ending, and then send it to.
Whose voice is that?
I'm sorry.
Whose voice is it?
Oh no, that's James's voice. It's James singing.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, I just had him, lay down a ukulele kind of vibe, and then so James, once I get the actual audio splits, it was because you were sitting on the chair and the chair was kind of
Squeaked.
So I need a good clean audio, a few of them actually, so I can put them together. And
Roger that.
So I'm going to take the audio, put it with the song, and then kind of spice it up a little bit. Then that's when I'm going to get the like one of those cartoon. I'm going to have like either like a 2D kind of cartoon of James singing the song with the lyrics on the thing. Throw his Montauk logo on, so that way he has like a little intro. So
Oh, you're so cool.
Well,
I know, just some cool shit, man.
I just want to, I don't know, make it. I mean, the whole idea is it's kind of a fun vibe. It's a good vibe, but still serious shit. So
I love hanging with you guys.
You have a good voice, James.
Oh, I'm okay. Thank you all for coming tonight. I'm going to go ahead and close down. Got some stuff to do. Thank you so much.
No.
Take the compliment, buddy. Take the compliment.
Thank you.
There we go. That's better.
We should have like a karaoke night without me here. That's what we should do.
Well, we're gonna have to figure that out somehow to do it.
One day.
You guys, did you guys listen to? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we both hunkered down.
Like, go ahead.
We had a singing night, and we were all fucking drunk too, Mike. The next time we have something like that, we'll make sure you get there because you need to get drunk or whatever and sing with us too.
That sounds like fun.
Sounds like fun to me.
St. Patrick's Day was good. God, that was good, man.
I didn't get to come.
I'm sorry you weren't here. But then we had another, like last, I don't know, Friday, Sunday? Was it Sunday? We were having a few cocktails on Sunday.
Hey, James, since you're a singer, do you and Hawaiian, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You know Willie K?
Sounds familiar. Can you his songs? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a singer. He might be a little bit older now, but I think you and I are probably in a similar age group. He came out of Hawaii. He did some really good Hawaiian and then blues, rock and roll. all of it with a Hawaiian feel. Like, they call him Willie K because it's a hard name to pronounce. It's a Hawaiian name, but he does "Waterfall" by Jimi Hendrix, and it sounds very Hawaiian.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Oh
Have you
my
guys-
God, I love him.
It's this guy. I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Good. It's right here. Can you see it?
I don't see it yet.
Uh-huh. I do. Oh yeah. I really do love him. Like, his soul is so sweet. Have you ever heard him talk? Have you ever heard him just shoot the breeze? He is like totally cool person inside even.
His music is awesome. Yeah.
I'm gonna go have a cigarette and just try to get my mouth under control because tonight I'm just like jabbering. That way you guys can have a chance.
You guys been listening to Lauren Stein? Is it Steiner? Lauren Steiner? What is it?
Who?
Lauren Steiner? Is that right?
Steiner, I think.
Lauren Steiner. She's the shit.
Yeah.
I saw her. She interviewed Lee Camp today, which is an awesome interview. She's the one.
Interviewed Door. Sorry.
Yeah. Lauren Steiner. Yeah, I'm starting to see it was on Jamal. She was on Jamal, which is fucking awesome too. You guys saw The Hard Bastard in Jamal, right? Too.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to that today.
Yeah.
I keep missing the first parts of all these live streams because I never get a damn notification. So I just have to keep.
Yes.
YouTube.
I clicked the bell too, but I never get the bell. I don't even know if that fucking works.
I even double checked, went into my system settings to make sure that I had, the YouTube app notifications on. Nothing.
Yeah.
So
it's a
I just have to
conspiracy, man. Hey,
check all day.
Ryan, sorry guys, but Ryan, your mic has been on. Did you want to chime in? You got it? What's going on, bro? You good? Okay. Thank you very much for being here.
No, you're not good?
He's good. He's kind of good. I don't know. He's watching something. He's here. Never you mind. Never you mind.
He's
Ooh,
like,
look at that.
I'll get back to you.
Oh, he's watching basketball.
Watching basketball.
Who are you watching?
So we're playing charades now?
No, he's
Boston,
watching basketball.
Boston,
Sounds like. First syllable.
Boston and Portland just finished.
Oh. Trailblazers. Celtics.
Yes. So Lauren Steiner is the shit. Like I really dig her. But she's got a couple little things that she kind of went to left field with the whole thing about porn, but whatever.
Who is that? Can you post who that is? I don't know who that is.
Lauren Steiner. Yeah. This chick.
Will I know her music if I heard it for less than 20
No,
seconds?
she's
music.
a news reporter.
Oh, there's so many names in here. There's a bazillion names. And my file monkeys aren't always working all the time.
This chick.
We got a call-in user. You want to check your sound?
Lauren Steiner. This chick. She's the one who interviewed Jimmy Dore at the Democrat or at that convention. Right there.
Okay.
Anyway, she did. This one was really good. You got to watch it. Bernie Sanders, shut the fuck up. Like, she was really pissed off about the whole, Russia thing. She's got a little bit of mouth on her, sometimes, but she's articulate and she asks good questions. And I feel like she's another one to kind of, I guess, because she's really involved with she was, I don't know, Occupy Wall Street. Against the TPP. She did some shit with that she was talking about it on Jamal's thing about.
So what you're saying is she's paddling in the same direction we are, Sir Chad? Pretty much?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Which
she's
we all
very clear about the way she brought. And you should see Jamal's talk. He did a review of it about her interview with Jimmy Dore, but it was really good because she's asking him the questions that need to be. In fact, she was the one that asked Cenk about, you know, the getting the $20 million. Did you ever see that clip where a reporter or somebody in the news asked him?
She's the only one.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's very articulate in the way she
It's very good.
she goes at it. So you guys,
I like her. I'm going to try to get her on here. Who has anybody has a reporter with her?
Well,
Jamal.
Anybody? Oh, Jamal. Well, we know Jamal. If we all gang up on Jamal, it's Jamal. Get that Lauren girl over here.
I mean, I'm sure she will. You know, she's rocking and rolling. Like somebody, it's like that's the type of, for me, you know, it's your Jimmy Dore, but she's a little bit past when it comes to, you know, he's an apologist for, you know, for TYT and stuff like that. So
she's real professional, real knowledgeable, and not only that, she exited. I don't think she's a green, but she's open to greens, and she's a real progressive, like in your face interviewer and journalist. Amazing.
I think the only other person who like brought that $20 million thing up was Ben Shapiro during that debate at. So, but that was just because Shapiro was trying to get some debate points or whatever. But yeah. I like Steiner. I watched that video, the Bernie Sanders shut the hell up thing. Yeah.
just I got a crush. Very, very, very cool. And I wasn't. It's like she's asking the right questions, and she's what we want. You know, something to use as a gauge. You know, a guide. You know, this is kind of similar, and helping push her to the forefront. Plus, she's a woman too. I mean, that shit's important. You know, to have an articulate woman come out and really be saying these kind of things. That shit really helps. It really does. You know, because, you know, not that we don't have women doing it, but the more women, you know, the better.
Yeah, there's a majority men in politics, so it's like it's really nice to see other women out there getting active.
Right.
Like Stevie.
Like Stevie. Right.
Yeah.
More of that type of.
Rebel, Shirley, you know, it's like.
Right. Of course, the whole lineup.
These other channels, it's like, I don't know. You don't really see a lot of women. I mean, maybe not even with channels, but especially in politics, it's like we've checked out. We've checked out as a gender, at least around here. I mean, I know like there's a new thing going on with the women's marches and stuff. I just, you know, I don't know, going on a tangent here. Sorry.
You know, I've interviewed a couple female candidates for the Green Party, and what they say, and it really makes a lot of sense, is, you know, they're busy. They're raising children. I mean, real life, you know, they're taking care of, you know, the family, households, and in addition to working. So their view on it is that they're just busy. So running a campaign and being in office is just, it's a little bit more cumbersome for women.
Yeah, good point.
Since there's so many damn deadbeat dads out there.
Well, you know what they say. You know, if you want to get something done, get to someone who's busy. You know?
Yeah.
They tend
Hey,
to.
James, I just wanted to call in and say a couple of words if I could jump in.
Oh, hey, sorry. You know what? I'm stupid. I'm a terrible host, but we should have acknowledged you a long time ago. I apologize for that. I've been posting stuff. Do you want me to put your name on here? What's your name?
If you'd like to, it's me, Nash.
Oh, Nash is here. What's up, Nash?
Hello.
Hey, Nash.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Go ahead, Nash. What's up, bro? Lay it on us.
Oh no, I'm just chilling. I'm with you guys all the way till the fight is done. I know a lot of women who are awake, who are into this fight as well. I know a lot of people. I'd love to introduce you guys all to a lot of like-minded people who think just like you guys, who are in this. You're not alone.
That's what we need. We need to start really building a team of people. Because I already see everybody, jumping from stream to stream, and it is kind of pockets of people following what's going on.
We are
clever, man.
We are
clever
okay.
now.
Okay, where are we at right now? Okay, so I had my Blog Talk Radio show 2014, and I just realized that I had it for that long. I did like 60 something, almost 70 Blog Talk Radio shows, and then I just kind of fell off the wagon of the train or the station or the planet. Kind of when Bernie started getting screwed over, and then when he finally turned into Hillary Clinton's cabin boy. And then I stopped, and then I saw a little light at the end of the dark tunnel. It was Anything Goes with Eben Kim. And what was the other one? Anything Goes, and what's the other title?
Open Topic, right? Open Topic.
No, he does Open Topic now, but there was another. It was Anything Goes. What, Red?
After Hours.
After Hours. And After Hours. Kelly and everybody was there and stuff like that. And I jumped in and I just started babbling. Very therapeutic, by the way. Coming on, letting it go, just releasing all that political spew was good to get out. And then I started doing that, and then next thing, Evan started helping me getting this OBS together and training, and now we've come a long way. I've got like almost 200 subscribers for myself in a matter of like 6 months. And people are starting to pay attention, and we're getting some good guests. And Mike's here from the Green Party, and I've got people chiming in all the time, and the views are happening. I mean, we're reaching. It's not like
I'm
it's
glad
not like
you
we're
said
exploding,
that.
but we're doing
You're
something.
doing fantastic. And I'd love to bring a lot of people over your direction. And I'm glad you said that, because the subject matter that we're dealing with, it's not easy. It's not easy subject matter. It's like, so sometimes you snap, and I snapped, on your channel, and I apologize to everybody, and you too, James, especially. But
we're okay with it. Everybody's human. It's okay.
We're dealing with some really heavy shit here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like nefarious shit that we have to deal with, and that's why I know I'm biased, but that's why I like our live stream is because PYT and stuff like that, it's like it's just constant news, like just churning out. And it's just we actually, while we do focus on serious stuff, we also bring in the light with it. And I think Jamal does he's another one that does a good job of doing that. It's like, you talk about this really serious stuff, and then sometimes you just got to talk about aliens, Yeah,
well, no, Stevie, I'm with you. I mean, I make a lot of jokes. I laugh. I get some LOLs in the chat room. I'm actually a pretty funny guy when I'm laid back. Sometimes I get fired up. That's just how I go. When you're talking about, when we're talking about Luciferianism and child trafficking and blood-sucking vampires that rule us and just create this money out of all this stuff. It's heavy. It gets taxing, and sometimes you get frustrated, and so I make bad jokes. That's what I do.
Yeah, I would like to dig a little deeper into the vampire thing someday. I would rather talk about vampires, like real vampires. Like I was saying earlier, I'd like to talk about surfing and maybe coaching when I coach, basketball and stuff like that for kids. I would rather, wouldn't we all rather, like when I was at the Pussy Hat March in Santa Ana, like 7,000 whatever fucking people. Stevie popped off for some reason. She's back. Okay, and I was screaming out at the top of my lungs in a really good spot, overturn Citizens United, get money out of politics. Nobody understood what the hell that was.
It's like all of a sudden they go, huh?
Yeah, like out of like the 20 people that I know can hear me because I can belt it, right? Like 2 or 3 would go, yay! I hear a little faint, yay, yay, because nobody really knows what's really causing all the fucking bullshit. And if we can get candidates to commit out there to taking money out of politics completely, McCutcheon versus the FEC, Citizens United overturning that, then you would probably get somewhere. Go ahead, Truth.
So I heard the word Luciferians. What's wrong with the Satan worshippers? Is that like, yeah, I think those are Satan worshippers, right?
There's a difference between I know it sounds weird, but there is a difference between the Satanists and the Luciferians.
There certainly is. There certainly is. And there's a book written by,
okay,
I forgot his name. Oh my God, is it Bill Ayers? Who dedicated a book to Lucifer, and then Hillary Clinton came out and was like, I love Bill Ayers. I don't know if Bill Ayers was his name, but it was someone from Chicago.
Not that I like the Satanists. I'm an atheist. Maybe.
No. Some of them are definitely blood-sucking Satanists.
Nash, can I talk?
Sorry.
Yes.
The Satanists, they're just all about undoing the Christianity. Just wiping the Christians' beliefs away. But
I think you're being too kind.
No,
I've read the works of Anton LaVey. He's just a troll. Anton LaVey.
Rebel, were you done?
No, I really wasn't done. But
sorry.
The Luciferians are actually the ones that really go dark and like they get into like the child molestation and child sacrifices, the most purest being that they can violate and sacrifice it to Lucifer. Then they believe they believe that they can get blessed by Lucifer to be all powerful.
That's fucking
I have never read into Luciferianism. I only know about LaVeyan Satanism, which is like the metaphorical sense
The
of it, I guess.
the Luciferians believe that Lucifer actually sacrificed himself. That Lucifer actually is the one, kind of like the replacement of Jesus Christ. They believe that Lucifer actually was cast down, and he is the one who sacrificed himself for the people. And yes, and he is their savior, and he is their power, and that Satanism is a completely different realm. Yes, that is so true. Satanism is a completely different realm.
Like, it's like if you just listen to Styx long enough, you understand what Satanism. It's all stupid shit. I love Styx. I love it when he sticks to like his gardening or his political views, but when he starts bringing in Satanism, I just like it's like a turn off, because it's like it's all child's play compared to and he thinks he's so cool because he's a Satanist, and it's like, nah.
Yeah, but I think
I think you said some things that Luciferians do that I think you confuse. Well, this is my opinion, okay?
Actually,
I think the Satanists are the ones who are the pedophiles. The Satanists are the ones who draw blood. The Satanists are the ones. Luciferians are more on that philosophical, like,
no,
we're entitled.
I was a Satanist, so don't say I'm confused.
Well, then
I know Satanists.
You can tell me all about it.
We have a Church of Satan.
I started up. I know.
I have. There's a temple
and all this stuff. So you tell me.
Like, just
what was it like being a Satanist?
And say it backwards, and then you undo the Lord's Prayer.
But what other kind of rituals did
so
you
they try to put when Christians.
What rituals did you participate in?
When Christians try to put up the Ten Commandments. When Christians try to put up the Ten Commandments, then the Levian Satanists come in, and then they put up statues of Baphomet. Then they get the Ten Commandments taken down because they don't want Baphomet up there. So they say, okay, let's just take down the Ten Commandments. You see, it's all about separation of church and state.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So yeah, I know Satanists. I think they're trollish. I think they're goofy, but it's not. They're not pedophiles.
No. They're more.
Are the Rothschild Satanists or Luciferians?
Luciferian.
But okay, so the Luciferians are the ones who do human sacrifice, and Satanists are just.
I know. The only person, I think the one time I heard the word Luciferianism was when I was studying Freemasonry, and I looked in Albert Pike, but that was it. That was the last time I really heard the word Luciferian.
Hey, I'm just trying to learn, man. I'm just trying to learn. I'm sorry if I'm picking your brain, it doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just trying to learn.
That's what we all do.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Just here to learn and ventilate.
In 2004, in Washington, D.C., I met a group of Minnesota Satanists. And they were basically a group of atheists that were just upset that they'd always been called Satanists. So they called themselves Satanists and joined the Godless March on Washington. There was a group of.
Did the menace?
Just a second. There was a group of World War II and Korean War veterans that were hardly strong enough to hold up signs, and they were being harassed by a bunch of fundamentalist Christians. The Satanists were just really nice guys and walked over and said, "Can we help you hold up your signs?" And the guys looked at them, and at first they didn't know what to say, and I said, "They're okay. They're with us."
Well, actually, you cannot call them Satanists if they say that they were just upset atheists.
But that's what they call themselves.
I know, but that doesn't mean
they weren't worshipers of anything.
Like tenets and rules and stuff like
they
that.
They weren't worshipers of anything.
All right, so that makes sense though, because the Freemasons are Luciferians. I think in Morals and Dogma they even talk about it. When you're a Freemason, a high-ranking Freemason, I think they even talk about Luciferianism, like Lucifer is it.
Well,
and that makes sense.
They don't call it Luciferian.
To be specific,
you practice Luciferian rituals at the highest level of the Freemasonry.
What would you consider Bohemian Grove? What kind of ritual would that be at Bohemian Grove when grown men dress up in robes in front of a giant owl and do mock human sacrifice? Like what ritual would that be classified?
Well, what I would love to do is go to a Bohemian Grove. Women are invited, but you gotta really I would love to sneak up to the altar and see if that is a dummy or if it's a real human being, for one thing. If it's just a dummy, then nah, they're just like a plain Satanists. But
Dress up.
I would
They're playing dress up.
I would like to know if that's a real human being in there, because there is rumors that they play it off as it's a dummy, but that
Yes.
some people say,
Yes.
no, I
Yes.
saw that it was real, and you don't know.
Yes, you don't know.
It's just to be a little bit clearer, though. There are two rites of Freemasonry. They're kind of like denominations of Christianity. But there's two rites of Freemasonry. There's the York Rite and there's the Scottish Rite. The Scottish Rite, Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike. And then the York Rite is what the founding fathers, like George Washington, were a part of. Two rites of Freemasonry. But my question for Schnork is, did the Minnesota Satanists tell you that they cast a spell to elect Jesse Ventura governor?
Well, see, you can't call them Satanists. They're not Satanists unless they are practicing Satanism.
Yeah, they were only using the name. They didn't have, as far as I remember, they didn't have any other rituals.
Yeah, and there are red lodges and blue lodges, and there are different degrees, and there are different. I mean, it's even in Freemasonry. There's a whole structure of things. I mean, most Freemasons think they're doing a good thing. They're probably think they're doing helping society. It's not until you really get up there. The top of the pyramid of almost everything is corrupt.
Exactly.
The way to indicate the difference between the rites, well, the York rites, they use a compass, the Masonic compass. So it's like a ruler to, like over here, like it makes this symbol, and there's a G in the middle. And then where the Scottish Rite, they have like a two-headed eagle.
It leads to the same shit.
But I mean, Albert Pike started it. And like there's a legitimate difference between Scottish Rite and York Rite, because Scottish Rite was founded by a Klansman. Albert Pike. Albert Pike was a Klansman. So and
what's your name, by the way? Who's talking?
William.
Address you. William.
William.
Hi, I'm Nash. It's great to meet you, man. I love what you're saying. Is there a connection between Albert Pike and Aleister Crowley?
Not much.
Albert Pike was he lived during the Civil War era. He was a general. Actually, he's the only pretty much the only Klansman who has a statue in D.C. Yeah. and a Confederate Klansman.
And everybody's running around the country screaming about statues, tearing everything down. But I guarantee you one thing: that statue of Albert Pike, that ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, Albert Pike, like he had a great influence on the country, even as a declared traitor to the Union. Like for starters, Albert Pike was far more racist than Robert E. Lee. Far more racist. In fact, there could be an argument made that Lee wasn't. I've heard an argument made, not necessarily a really compelling argument, but it's an argument. But for Pike was the mastermind behind the Confederacy.
Did he talk about 3 world wars, or is that just
yeah? Well. For starters, it's a debated thing, because he wrote a letter, to I forgot the guy's name. It starts with an M. I want to say Mussolini, but that's a different person. But it kind of rhymes with Mussolini, or kind of sounds like it. But he wrote a letter, and no, he didn't. I can't say he wrote it, but I can't say he didn't write it. it's still a highly debated topic if that's Pike's work or not. The 3 World Wars, highly debated.
Well, there's a statue of him in D.C. and it ain't going nowhere, so it must mean something to some people.
Well, you know, and like you know, there's a bunch of people who do in fact want all these other Confederate statues taken down, but they don't want Pike's statue taken down. So that's another suspicious thing.
That's my point. That's my point. I'm saying you're seeing all these statues, all these things being ripped apart. You're seeing the Arch of Baal being erected in New York City and other places.
And
but you'll never see the statue of Albert Pike ever get touched or anyone even talk about it. You know, but you know, you could be down in Louisiana and be like, hey, we got to remove that statue. What about that one?
Yeah, it's not going to be taken. Well, unless you elect somebody who would take it down. But it doesn't seem like it. Albert Pike, you know, and he's the one who essentially started the Confederacy. But no. No, we're not going to touch Pike's statue.
Nope.
I mean, Pike was a mastermind, but he co-founded. Actually, you know, he wasn't just a Klansman. He co-founded the Ku Klux Klan. Co-founded.
Ugh, that's yucky.
I've been thinking really hard.
Yeah. And he has a statue. He has a statue in D.C. He has a statue in D.C., Washington, D.C.
Dude, everything in West Virginia is named after Robert C. Byrd, and he admitted he was in the KKK. He used the N-word after the year 2000. It was like 2003. I'm like, and everything's named after this dude around here. Even you have to pass by the old courthouse named after him, like to get to the new one. It's like, oh, well, that's not a good sign. Like, that's not. You know, like I could imagine being black and going to the Robert C. Byrd, you know, courthouse. Like, oh, I'm going to get a fair shake on that one. Sure. But yeah,
I live in the Southwest.
We name stuff after assholes. We build statues and monuments to terrible people. You know, it's just, and some of them, of course, some of them did some good things. But I mean, what's the statue being built for? Is it to you know, prop up the good that this person did, or being built for? Is it to remind people of like their atrocities? You know, like
I live in the Southwest. I live in Arizona. I live in the Southwest, and okay. So Arizona didn't even exist during the times of the Confederacy, though we have like a few Confederate statues, but that's because there's a brand, I think there's a group out here called the Sisters of the Confederacy.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, I know about them.
Like in a state where the civil, like a state that does Arizona didn't exist during the Civil War. It didn't. So why is there Confederate statues here? Like I swear it's crazy.
Are you saying sisters? Do you mean daughters of the Confederate?
Yeah,
because they are.
Wait, sorry.
They're an all-female KKK group.
Repeat. Yeah. Can you repeat your thing, because Sally took out my head here. But.
Oh, the Daughters of the Confederacy are an all-female KKK group, and there's in Washington D.C. There's like a part of that. What's the name? that burial ground that has soldiers in it. There's a part that is roped off for all the KKK soldiers, and our country, our government buys a huge, beautiful wreath extra just to go over and Tad, you are so distracting. What was I gonna say? Oh, and they present it to the daughters of the Confederacy so that they can go honor the KKK soldiers. And
they have Confederate stuff.
Yeah.
They have Confederate stuff all over. Well, not all over, but they have Confederate stuff here in Arizona, a state which didn't exist during the Civil War, and it's here. And I'm just shocked, but wow.
Well, I thought about how they're trying to take down all the statues and all this. And this is my thought. Of course, the Democrats don't want to have their history with racism out there for everybody to see. So what they'll do is plant it in the black person's head. Oh, that's so awful to have that for you guys to have to look at. And then it stirs up the Black Lives Matter to try and get it out, right? The black people don't understand that they are being used as tools to rip out history of how fucked up the Democrat party.
I think some black people are aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, not enough, because there are statues that are being taken down. I would love to take every black person and say, tell them to fuck off, keep the statues there, and use them as a tool to teach your kids this is what the Democrat society did to us. And and keep them up. Like it's like the books, they're all whitewashed.
Yeah.
I think Quanell X actually expressed the point that you're talking about. Quanell X is, I think, the spokesperson for the new Black Panther Party. But yeah, that's what that's a point that Quanell X has been expressing.
It's like, what are these? Just say 5 years from now, here's going to be some black babies born. What are those black babies going to see when they grow up? They're going to see a fake America, because all the statues are going to be taken down, and yet there's going to be that racism. So there's going to be that the Democratic Party is still there trying to use them. And I'm just hoping that the black parents will educate, will show pictures. This is what.
Well, I'd like to hear a black person speak for this.
Mm-hmm.
To this.
Yeah.
I could bring a lot of black people here if you guys have a shortage.
No, I don't. I have black. What is that? That black. They're talking about the white guilt that we white people don't have to have. So, and it's like, I mean, these are black people saying this has been a divisive tool that was brought in by the liberals a long time ago, and we don't want it, And it's like they're trying to get black people to understand that it's a economic class war. And what better tool does the oligarchs and the establishment have but to divide us into white and black groups?
That's kind of always been out there. I mean, the divide and conquer has always been a tactic, and it's always been in play. It's never not been.
Because we're stupid enough to go along with the oligarchs and the establishment bullshit. But if we would have taken ourselves black and white people that are worker class, and told the establishment a long time ago, fuck you. You're not going to sit there and tell us what we should hate so that you can. And if we had jammed together back then and went against the establishment, we wouldn't have been in the situation we are in now.
I think what happened is what she's talking about, and I kind of saw a few YouTubes on this, was after the Great Depression in the 20s, the late 20s. What happened is they started to see there were people lining up, black and white and every color on the planet, in food lines, trying to find work, scrambling, and they started to come together. So they created this new narrative, and they started to separate people by class, by race, religion, and stuff like that. And that it's been in that direction all the time. But I don't think it's just been liberals. I think it's just been
what was liberals?
The two-party oligarchy, in my opinion. Just the elite that kept that imprinted this narrative on everybody. You know, they needed us to be
with that because I don't think that we actually have a two-party system. I think we have the illusion of a two-party system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, you know.
It's just an illusion.
And I think
because those assholes never existed, we would never have this fight between the whites and the blacks, the native this and this. It's them that keep this fucking bullshit separation. And it's
I don't know. I meet black people all the time.
I'm not done. They have to keep us separated because if we were together, we could outnumber them and fuck them over.
Because ants don't need grasshoppers. It's grasshoppers that need ants.
So, breaking news.
Go ahead, man. Lay it on it.
So, a Green Party leader, Elizabeth May, arrested at anti-pipeline protest in Burnaby. So she's she's an MP, you know, in Canada's legislature. So yeah, she just got arrested
for protesting disgusting crude oil being transported through pipelines that break and leak into our lakes and rivers all the time.
Yes, one of Trudeau's little projects.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was so in love. What's that actress's name? I'm trying to remember her name.
You know, there's a cancer alley in Canada that rarely ever gets talked about. And, you know, we have them here. You know, I live in Chemical Valley. There's just so many of these, you know, cancer valleys that are around there. But Justin Trudeau, because he's like an Obama, he talks pretty, he looks pretty. Nobody ever, you know, he's an environmentalist. He's one of the good progressives. But look at all these pipelines that are coming down. Look at all the cancer and stuff that goes on up there. I mean, like, this dude isn't legit. And it didn't take me as long as Obama, but it took me a while to even see that about Trudeau. I mean, just because you never see the news about the negative stuff that he does, ever.
You were mesmerized by his
Jane Fonda
looks.
Politics. Was Sarkozy arrested, and what's going on over there in France? What happened up there with Sarkozy? I mean, that's kind of. I mean, is that true? He was really arrested.
He was held for receiving thousands of dollars from Gaddafi for his campaign.
Baby.
Hi, love.
Hey, Cheryl.
We love you.
Hey.
Oh.
Love you too.
Oh, wait.
Did they put him in cuffs?
Baby,
She's talking to the baby.
I love you too, though.
We love you too, Cheryl.
Oh, look at her face. Oh, my God. I love you, baby.
I heard her earlier crying a little bit.
Oh, you are our love. Yes, you just tell the world.
She goes, give me that microphone. I want to sing a song.
Yeah, hey.
She likes Troy
Hakuna Matata.
Oh my God, I want to hug her so bad. The maternal instinct. Oh my God, I wish I didn't have half of it.
She loves it.
It just brings you back. It makes you like not, no worries. Like wow, to be a kid, to be a newborn, to be. Ah, what
Well,
the
we
hell are we
worry
doing on
about
this
them
planet?
now because of what's going on in the world.
She's searching for his tit.
What was that, Cheryl? I'm sorry.
I say you have to worry about those little ones like that and my granddaughter and other people's grandchildren.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What the U.S. is doing with this Russia stuff.
What the U.S. is doing with pretty
What?
much everything.
Everything.
Pretty much
Yes.
everything. Yes.
It's like,
Everything.
Yes.
that's
Everything.
Cheryl. I know you know that. I'm just saying. It's
I mean, they got Obama has a drone facility being built in Niger.
shit.
$100 million.
Boop, boop.
What the fuck we need a drone facility out there for?
Because we have so many friends now all over the world.
Yeah.
We just have so much freedom that people hate us for it.
Yes.
And that's what we got to protect ourselves against, are those people that hate freedom.
This is why I get mad about the tax dollars, and I talked about this. Our frivolous spending. Whatever happened to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you can help others. Like can't we spend that money on Americans?
Sorry,
Yeah, like
man.
I feel a lot better if somebody somewhere was, being helped. But the only person that's getting helped is like Raytheon, and that's not even a person. Like, there's just a couple of people that these things benefit. I mean, if it was one thing, like if I had to go hungry to make sure that somebody else had something, that would be one thing, to make sure that somebody else gets built up. But like, nobody's winning. Nobody's winning with this.
No, Stevie, I'm with you. I mean, there are these programs that are great and they're good for people, but they're totally misused. And all they do is create more bureaucracy, and these people get great jobs and they have fantastic pension plans. But the little guy who really needs the help gets table scraps, and it doesn't help them. It just expands the government, puts more people dependent on the government, and I mean, you could spend that money and teach someone how to weld, or how to, or put them in school, and get an engineering degree, or teach a man to fish, type of thing.
Well, Nash, they took a lot of that out of school. I remember I was in a swim club learning how to swim in junior high school. They don't have stuff like that anymore. You had to take shop like welding and stuff, or home economics, cooking, sewing. They don't have that anymore.
I know, this is why we're collapsing into communism. Oh my God!
One of the things that I find sad is that, to me, the companies that can help us the most fighting global warming, climate change, are General Dynamics and Lockheed. Raytheon can probably help too. They're pretty good in those sectors, but they're being wasted on war projects, because that seems to be where the money is. We need to spend every dime we have on climate fixing, and we could completely replace all of their war spending. Say, you guys have good skilled people. Start helping us with climate change. We'll buy the same number of bombs as what you had before, except that they won't be bombs. They're going to be things for cleaning up messes. We need all the same technologies or more. We need you to develop new technologies for fighting climate change. And this is going to be a 500-year project. A war? It's ridiculous that we've had a war the last 15 years. But climate change, they're going to be able to predict that they're going to need to be making equipment for 50 to 100 years at least. And I don't know if it's going to be forever, but that is the biggest ticket they could find, is to switch over to climate change. And instead, we're just wasting all kinds of money on stuff that doesn't help us.
And General Electric sold their appliances overseas somewhere, and they now working for the military. building stuff for them.
General Electric's always been a big military. They've always sold more to the military than they have to the consumers.
And what do they pay in taxes?
Nothing.
Negative.
Oh.
Comcast does not pay taxes here in Philadelphia, and they got the tallest building. They getting ready to build something even taller here.
So, I mean, how ass backwards is that? So
yeah, GE makes nuclear submarines. You don't.
So if you make $30,000 a year, you're paying taxes on everything you earn, own, buy, sell, everything. But if you're a multi-billionaire, you pay nothing? How? Like, that makes no sense.
No, they don't pay anything. And here
The rich
in
get richer
Philadelphia,
and the poor get poorer.
and in Philadelphia, we have real estate developers because our mayor wants to raise our property taxes up 6%. But we have real estate developers here that owe the city taxes, millions of dollars. They won't go after them. They want to tax us. And that's crazy.
It's
I hope
crazy.
it doesn't pass. I hope
It's
it doesn't
crazy.
pass.
Shirley, it's crazy town. This is what we're living in. Crazy town. What the hell? Someone yelled at me the other night because I said all I did was suggest, can we get rid of property taxes, one tax? And someone was like, "What? You don't like schools?" I'm like, "Yeah, oh yeah. If we eliminate property taxes, all schools are going to collapse. Like, schools are great anyway." What? Like, what? Where's everybody's head at?
Well, in the schools in the suburbs outside of Philadelphia, their property taxes, they do help those schools. I mean, those schools are really, really good. But in the
I know.
city, and for this teacher, for the mayor to want to raise property taxes to help the schools, damn, you just raised the sugar tax on it for the schools.
That's what I mean, Shirley. I'm saying you could eliminate property tax, and you could, the taxes aren't going to go anywhere. They'll shift it to someone else. They're not going to take a loss, just like tariffs and this and corporations when they have to. The consumer is always going to pay for it.
And my thing is, they got city workers driving city vehicles. I got a neighbor next door. She's a supervisor with L&I for the city. She drives and takes her daughter to school and bring her back home from work. She goes shopping with it, come home with Target bags, ShopRite bags. Our tax dollars are paying for her insurance, the gas. If she get in an accident, she's not supposed to be driving another person in that vehicle related to her. I know that. And they blatantly do it in front of you. And that's what pisses me off.
I know. I understand that, and that's an empathetic thing. I'm not talking about it in that kind of sense. I'm just talking about it in a constitutional sense, in a sense of property rights. Like, property taxes to me are just evil. And just to tie that to schools is kind of like, hey, we definitely can find a way around that. There's no problem. If we cut property taxes, all schools are going to fail tomorrow. I mean, that's kind of silly. They're going they'll find a way to come up with the money. They have no problem losing $2 trillion the night before 9/11.
I mean, that's the problem, though. I mean, for anything that we're talking about, they could find the money for it. Like that, I mean, we are not a broke country. I mean, we could really, there's so much that we could do. Healthcare, college, schools, whatever, infrastructure, we could do it all. It's just a matter of trying to get the people that control the money to do the thing that we need.
Exactly. Oh, God damn, yes. Sorry. Just one of my hot buttons.
So I just wanted to say good night, everybody. It's been fun.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Eric.
Hey,
I saw
Cheryl,
your
how's it
rant
going?
on Twitter today about Hillary.
Thank you. You know what I was saying?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, there's a funny video about Hillary, trying to walk stairs.
Oh, in
I don't know if
India?
all over. It's like 15 different stairs. It's like 15 clips of her like trying to walk stairs, and they're all 15 clips. She's like blip blip blip. It's like wow, pretty funny.
The best one was 9/11 when she was at that memorial.
Yep. And she,
Talking about she was overheated. It was not hot out there that day. That was a beautiful day.
But I'm still like that like what happened like with Hillary and those like the mainstream media was like, oh, she's fine, she's great, oh, it was just a little trip, it's okay, they're trying to shove that, like sweep that under the rug like it's fucking nothing.
Yeah, right.
She needs to stay the hell home and be a damn grandmother to her 2 grandkids. Damn. But she is too narcissist to do that.
Hell, she needs to go home and parent Chelsea, man. That girl's got some crazy eyes. Like, go home, reevaluate your life, take your kids to the park, maybe go camping somewhere out in the woods. Don't come back.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to believe that some of these kids just are not real. I don't mean to sound all wacko, like coast to coast AM type wacko, but
and Chelsea married to a hedge fund guy because his father went to jail. What was their name? Not Snork, you probably know who I'm talking about.
As soon as you forgot, you made me forget.
It wasn't Menendez. It begins with an M. But Chelsea is married to the guy's son. He did in prison for fraud.
Huh.
And his wife, Medzvinsky, that's it, Medzvinsky. Uh-oh, it's doing something crazy on the screen. It was Medzvinsky. I can't remember his first name. And he's still sort of doing the same thing what his father did. And Lord knows he don't even speak to his father. They was bearing the fruit of what he was doing.
Yep. And it's funny when you start looking into these family histories with some of these politicians. I mean, like Joe Manchin. I didn't know anything about that. Joe Manchin had an uncle that was in the Congress. But apparently he had to resign because he was under so much. They were going to impeach him. I mean, like
really?
Oh yeah. That family tree is rotten to the core. Same thing with the Clinton. Same thing. I mean, it's like each generation.
They're all related.
Screwed up.
On ABC News, a 12-year-old girl put together a chart that showed that every president is related somehow, some way, and Clinton.
Well,
and
who
Trump
is Obama related to?
You'd be surprised. Trump and Hillary are cousins, and they are related by this guy named John Galt. That they're connected. They're all related. I mean, if a 12-year-old girl can put this thing together, it's out there. It's out there. It was on ABC News.
And my thing is, we invade countries that take care of their people, and they're not taking care of us.
No. That's why I said put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you can help others. You know, and America doesn't do that. You know, we can help each other. You know, like that's why I'm like, why are we sending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions and trillions and
And they talk
everywhere
about the
except to where it
opioid.
matters?
They talk about the opioid crisis, but we got U.S. soldiers guarding the poppy fields in Afghanistan.
Yeah, and that's a fact. And that's a fact.
And they shipping that shit back over here in cereal boxes and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's so bizarre that when you talk about like anytime I'll mention the like crack and the government and what they did and the drug war and stuff, oh well, that's just all conspiracy theory. But the same thing's still happening. They're replaying the same thing with the opiates that they did to black people with crack. You know, it's the same damn thing. They're playing it all over again, but yet it's a conspiracy theory to point out that this shit's already been pulled on us.
It's not a conspiracy theory. They did
well,
it
the
in the
only
60s.
thing they treat
They did it in the 60s
opioid
with the whole hippie movement and that free love and all that stuff. It was a CIA psyop right from the get-go. And if Afghanistan did not have poppy fields, would we be there?
Hell no. We'd be out of there.
Well, I mean, if it got us closer to, of course, they want the whole region. And Hillary Clinton said it, like, she wants the thing without borders kind of thing. She wants, like, the whole world to be, like, pretty much America type thing. Like, that's what
they want to change.
Go ahead.
They want to do what they doing to them over here to us. And I believe it.
Well, there are sheriffs in this country on film, on camera, in front of a court saying the CIA brings drugs into this country. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
Well, that's how they took down the Black Panthers.
So here's the thing. So, I mean, what's the plan of action? How do we want to see these people? What's the repentance? How do we scare the shit out of them by giving them some sort of? There has to be. We have to use somebody. We have to use people as examples, and make people feel like
it's scary, Chad, because they're so big, so vast. John F. Kennedy said he wanted to break the CIA into 1,000 pieces.
And where he's at.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, there's people in all these agencies that are just following orders, just following policy. They're following laws. That's remember, people are programmed. They're programmed to follow this shit. So by finding and waking up the right people, you know, the people that are following policy rather than the people that are continuing the policy and know what's going on and are the pushers of the policy, basically. You know, we have to infiltrate all these agencies in that way and make them afraid of basically who the fuck is gonna open their mouth, who's gonna be the one that actually blows the whistle on individual people's name. We need faces, names, and we need to make them the topic of conversation and destroy careers, destroy people's lives, and make people not ever have a moment to themselves ever again. They have to live like a recluse. That's the way to get them, to make them run from the public life because of what people know.
I think the way to get them is to make Hillary walk a flight of stairs.
Well, I mean,
I think we need an anti-war movement. Just like overseas in Paris, they just went out protesting. They're not getting no permits or anything. They're going out protesting.
What?
And it was one country that was protested, so they protested, and they come out in like 1,000, maybe million. And one president has stepped down for that country. I can't remember that country, but the president has stepped down because they didn't want him no more.
I like the fire. I love Shirley's fire. I love it.
I also have a good idea. Why don't we have like refugees that, you know, the ones that, you know, Obama and fucking Bush bombed? Why don't we get them to protest with us too, so we could stop this shit?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
And you know
Get
what?
everybody.
And that's the key, especially when it comes to the right wing, or you know, or to the conservatives. Conservatives are they're closer to the truth than the left is, than liberals, because of the whole Russia blind spot of that whole thing. Basically, we just went off live, off stream.
I think liberals are more plugged into Hollywood and television. I think
culture. The propaganda.
Yeah, I think that exactly, Eric. Well said. Well said.
Yes, they are, because a lot of the shows I watched for years have this Russia bullshit in it right now, and it's pissing me off.
Everything they're putting in everything. Are you watching Designated Survivor?
Yeah, that's in there too.
Oh, they're pushing the Russia thing so. It's like
when it first started, Chad, it was not in there.
No.
But she lost that goddamn election. Now it's in there.
Yeah.
I kind of had that feeling, you know, after I seen the, you know, what happened with the DNC, that they're going to go along with this bullshit and Hollywood was going to take that same route. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm thinking in my mind.
It's times like this. I'm glad I watched reruns of The Love Boat.
The Love Boat.
And I still rewatches of South Park. Well, including like the new episodes, because here's one thing with South Park, they make fun of both sides. And plus, they you know, they actually did mention Hillary Clinton in like South Park episodes, like in the newer seasons. But like in season 20, she was known as the turd sandwich. And plus, you know, when they made fun of Donald Trump, they don't use Donald Trump. They use a pseudo Donald Trump, but as an original character from South Park. They pretty much use Mr. Garrison, which I was like, I mean, that's like nobody really does that. They would just rather use Trump instead of an original character that could, you know, represent Trump. That's why the only thing I would really, really, truly watch on TV is South Park. That's about it.
I love the cartoon president show they have on Showtime. That shit is hilarious.
Did you guys know that they modeled Biff Tannen off of Back to the Future, off of Donald Trump? Biff Tannen is supposed to be like, that was the whole thing. I don't know if you guys.
What you say, Chad?
Like Back to the Future, you know how Biff Tannen, like especially in the second one, mega millionaire off having the Gray Sports Almanac. They modeled off Donald Trump, like that douchebag kind of like big, you know, that kind of, you know what I mean. So, anyways, anyways, the point, Eric, I think you're really onto something there. If there's a way to, I honestly think you could get the conservatives, the right, to be anti-war faster than the left, because at least they're plugged into WikiLeaks to the point where they know it's real. They're not necessarily following the rabbit hole to say, okay, wait a second. So we're getting weapons to ISIS through Saudi Arabia. That's what WikiLeaks reveals, basically. So if that's what's happening and all this stuff's going on and we're basically fueling ISIS and what's going on in Syria, what's going on in all these places, then the whole fear of the Muslim thing has to come out, has to eventually be like, wait a second, if they're doing the propaganda about this, then the whole Muslim thing, I should be, you see what I'm saying? They're closer to being woken up because they're on that path. But the left is being the ones that are actually supposed to be, like you say, the more authority or that kind of that's the way that they brand it or build it. You know, the left is this, and then the right is you know the assholes kind of thing. Anyways, but we have to. That's why I say we have to punch left. If we can't, if those people or left, whatever, if we can't pull the left together, then the right will never respect, nor will we ever actually change the, you know, because the left is what's supporting the Democratic Party, what's supporting the Clintons, what's supporting that whole deep state thing. You know, you see more of that of the independent or the mainstream media than you do like the Fox News kind of thing. You know, Fox News is more singled out when it comes to mainstream. You know what I mean? Everything else is either super left or not. It's not left, but you know.
Yeah, but Fox News has got the babes.
Right. Well, I mean, but Fox News is accurate when it comes to when they criticize the left on certain things, and they're accurate in a small little window. And even the left, even CNN on NBC, they're accurate in a small window. So understanding what windows where we should take these people seriously and give that message and teach people how to process the information, because you have to learn how to process it and then draw that experience. Like, wait a second, if they've done this before, this is what they do in this position, I believe this. You know, that cognitive dissonance, draw the bridge, create a bridge.
Well, you got to wake people up, because if you're getting your information from television, you know, there's a problem there. I don't care if you're watching Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, fucking ABC, CBS, blah, 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 Disney, kiss my ass.
The culture, though, it's not all just the media. It's once these things get blasted out so much, it becomes the conversation. And once one person hears it, or there's a consensus, you know, then it takes on its own thing. You know, like it's the culture. Like we have to separate ourselves culturally, I guess. From
my thing is, people keep leaving Israel out. Israel is a big push for the United States, and I know Netanyahu is clapping that Trump picked John Bolton, that insane bastard.
Yeah, it's like
they want to go to war with everybody.
Yeah, they want to talk about how Russia meddled in our election, but nobody's talking about how, you know, all these different countries will give our politicians money. And then like, same thing with Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, Uranium One, all that. It's just like, but no, we have to focus in on the It can't even be just Russian ties. It has to be Republican Russian ties. Because, I mean, you see this with my governor.
I don't know if you guys follow Q, if you follow that QAnon stuff, but, you know, he posted, you know, America is for sale. And that's kind of the way it is. You know, that's the way, you know with lobbyists and other countries. I mean, laws are being broken. I'm pretty sure there's a violation of the Logan Act going on.
Congress is bought by Israel.
And many other countries. Saudi Arabia doesn't. Saudi Arabia hasn't bought Congress.
See, but I think
even China.
I don't think it's
who lends us the most money?
They gave Saudi Arabia $1 billion in arms deals again.
Again, I think we have more control over these countries rather than the other way around. I think.
Well, they're in the same boat because they're all dependent on the dollar.
Right. Exactly. It's the banking system, and that's what, you know. We have to get people to understand how they're doing it, because basically, since we are a monetary sovereign nation, what they do is they create all these different ways for them to put their own specific people in, and then that's how they pull the money out of the system, you know. And then they inflate it, and then they keep pulling the money out. So that's how they're accumulating a lot of the money. That's creating the problem again. It's getting people riled up about something that is important. It's like the left. You're going to have to use something that triggers them.
How do you restore it back to sound money and, without like crashing the world? Like, how do we fix this?
Well, shit. I mean, when it comes to United, let the motherfucker crack. Well, first of all, most people don't have a lot of money in the bank. So FDIC insures up to 100,000, right? So most people will be fine if shit crashes. It's just about being able to, have a quality of life when it comes to food and that kind of water, that type of thing. Having a backup plan to say, if we're really going to do this, we have to start getting around the people that are running shit. Like we should be able to organize on a mass level. This is how we're going to operate. We're going to go around these people and starve and squeeze out these certain things. And what it's going to do is it's going to cause a lot of shit to topple. And that's when they're going to have to. If people are afraid of losing everything, they're either going to tell on people, they're going to rat, they're going to whatever they can, or they're going to,
double down.
Well, I mean, the quality of life that Americans have is a lot of it is dependent on the dollar being the world reserve currency. I mean, if the world didn't need the dollar, think about it. If the world is like, we don't need your shit.
I don't believe the dollar is worth anything because Gaddafi was about to go to gold before he was assassinated. No, I'll say tortured. Before he was tortured, he was going to go and try to unite all the African countries.
And start the gold dinar, and he was going to create a new currency, and they were like, no, you don't fuck with the dollar, you're dead. And Hillary was up there cackling like a kakuna.
Stand her.
We came.
We saw he died. There's no borders when it comes to money and greed. When it comes to the rich and the wealthy, there's no borders. Countries, it's like they said, network. Just one big beautiful corporation. Taking care of people that people can work for. Like that's their new world order. One giant commercial conglomerate. That's what that's. I mean, you see it with the consolidation of media and companies and Amazon and Walmart. It's like it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and yet there's borders when it comes to regular people. Regular people can't just, go to different countries and talk to, different people from around the world. I mean, like with the internet, it's made it a lot easier. But look at all the restrictions that they put on us. Whereas
who pulled the cork and released the genie out of the bottle?
WikiLeaks.
Well, no. I mean, there were laws against it.
I'm trying to think.
Well, that fell on the Constitution at all down there in Washington, period.
Bill Clinton.
Well, yeah, because a lot of this shit really does, because it's the Telecommunications Act where now we got.
I got that wrong. Sorry, because I was just trying to think. Sorry. I was thinking. I thought something was leaked out. I was like, huh.
And then Obama legalized propaganda, which was going on since the 50s, but now he just legalized it. But it's always been
remove habeas corpus.
Yeah, just make sure we don't get in trouble.
Has anybody watched Same Progressive video?
Yes.
Which one?
About this thing with the guns. I believe what she's saying. Yeah, it sounds nice when they say they want to get people with mental health issues and bring them in and hold them. But like she said, they seem like they're trying to take away everyone's guns. They don't want us to be armed. And I believe it.
Yeah, there was a case down here in Florida. I think, Eric, you might know this, right?
What
The
happened?
first case, someone actually had their weapons confiscated from them because he had a mental disorder. He was on paper as a mental disorder, and
That's
they
fucked up.
came.
That's the violation of the Second Amendment. They
Sure is. It sure is.
Yeah.
Our
And
state
they
has
said,
one even better.
and they said you don't even have to be a threat. They could come in and take you to an institution.
Well, Cheryl, in our state, not too far away from where I live, someone was just considered looking scary because he had we have open carry in our state, and he had a gun on him, and somebody called the cops on him and told him he looked scary just because he had a gun, and he was arrested and he had his gun rights taken away from him, and he can't get them back for another 3 weeks.
That's a shame because you got people out there like that will report, and they tell you to report these people if it seems suspicious on social networks.
That's how our system is set up. And he had the number one violation there was his due process rights. We are fucking, we're losing our due process rights. And you lose that, you lose everything.
And that march tomorrow is co-opted. Now, at first, I was happy the kids was going to do it, but then when I saw all this money they were getting, they got a date, places, time. I'm like, found out Soros and Hillary Clinton campaign got something to do with it.
It's really not co-opted. It's when people say co-opt, when the real word co-opted means that it started out as a good thing, with good intentions, and then the Democrats came and used it. This was not co-opted. This was started by the Democrats. They're actually paying these kids and mind bending them. It's not.
Yeah, they're using them, and it's a shame.
Yeah, but when people use the word co-opted, they don't understand that they're using it in the wrong way. It's not co-opted. This March for Your Lives. This is actually George Soros started propaganda bullshit.
Yeah, and the woman that led the women's march, she's part of this too.
Yeah, that's who George Soros funded to get this whole fucking thing started.
And this will be all over TV tomorrow.
Oh God, did you hear the Mercers are back into the bullshit too? Oh man,
but they didn't show them protesting in Sacramento, shutting down that basketball game about that guy being shot in his grandmother's backyard by the cop.
Oh,
George Soros needs to be shoved down a flight of stairs right next to Hillary. George Soros is the most evil motherfucker on this planet.
He's a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit. You're goddamn right.
No. You got the Mercers as well. You got the Rothschilds. We are being pulled from right and left, and we're getting ripped apart. And until we can stop all of those fuckers.
You forgot the Koch brothers, Rebel.
Yeah, them too. Oh God.
Yeah, there's a lot of billionaires that play us a part. You know, they all get together and they plan and coordinate.
How about trillionaires?
Yeah.
The Rothschilds are trillionaires, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
They're trillionaires, and you'll never see them in Forbes magazine.
You know that those stupid CNN kids are in the Time magazine cover?
Yeah.
Oh, they using them kids.
What a
David Hogg in the front.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's so sad about this and like the women's marches and stuff like that. They take legitimate anger and they redirect it towards something they redirect it towards the void. they redirect it towards, you know, marches and picket signs, and it doesn't really actually translate to anything that we can hold these people accountable to. It's like we don't get together like that and boycott. We don't get together like that and call our senators or do whatever. But like, we'll go to a march. I mean, it's a start. I'm not ragging on nobody for going to those things. It's just, we got to do more. It's not enough. It's not enough.
That's like that video James showed when he was at that woman's march. And I'm like, some people didn't know what they were marching there the hell for. I'm like, what?
They were just showing up just to wear a fucking pink hat.
Woman, Chad, tell her to get in here and say hi.
Who?
Yeah, it's here.
Chad, tell your
Let's see, Mama.
Here.
Hey, Mama.
I'm trying to get her to. She don't want to.
Yeah, we want you.
Say hi. Just say hi. She knows it. She knows everybody. Like the conversations, like in the middle of stuff, she'll just like talk. She'll talk shit. Like, oh. Say hi.
Congratulations on the new addition to the family, and God bless you guys.
Yeah, good job, Mama. Great
Say
job.
hi. Just poke your head in. Poke your head in.
Tell him to rub your feet. You deserve it. Like for a month
Yeah,
straight.
get down there and rub her feet.
It's Maria.
Hello.
Hi.
It's my birthday, so by the way.
Is your birthday?
It's my
It's
birthday.
your birthday?
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Happy birthday.
In her 2 months.
Oh, thank you. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Whose birthday is it?
Sir Chad.
Chad.
What?
No.
Say it's your birthday.
And Amos 2 months.
Today?
Yeah.
Did anybody see? I put in chat that the
birthday.
It's 2 months.
Did
Yeah,
he?
so
Oh wow!
same day, yeah, on 24th.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
it's her birthday
24.
or it's Sir Chad?
Well, it's her 2 month birthday.
Oh, we thought it was your birthday.
It
We
is my
thought it
birthday.
was your birthday.
It is my birthday. But
Okay,
I'm saying
so it's her 2 month and you're real. Okay, so then we have
No, it's her
double
2
Oh, he
months.
said it is his birthday.
Her 2 months and my 37th birthday.
37.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
you had a birthday gift
should
from.
do it.
Oh, you had the perfect birthday gift.
Yep, perfect. I got her early.
Did
for you,
anyone
Papa.
see? I put in chat earlier. Trump signed an order last night to ban transgender from service.
Yeah.
Who did that?
What?
Last night, Trump signed an order to ban transgender from service.
God, he's such a troll.
Wait.
Isn't he?
Wait. In certain parts of the service, which I can understand, because if you're under hormonal therapy, you are not, and it's not, it can screw up your mind. And even they'll tell you, even transes will tell you, they have to be fit in order to. They can't go into some areas of battle with that hormone shit happening in their head.
Oh.
Kind of makes
So
sense.
I get that part.
Like you're in the trenches and you're like, what is going on with you? You've just been bitchy all fucking day and I'm trying to kill somebody out here. You know?
Right, exactly.
I just don't feel like it. You know, you didn't bring all the weapons and, you know, I didn't eat chow very well and I really hated the dessert. It was terrible.
What you have to do is go into the bill itself. Do not listen to anybody. Don't even listen to me. Everybody needs to quit being lazy. Go to the fucking bill and read it.
Okay.
I'm 110 pages in already.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not going to listen to anybody. I'm going to listen to the bill, you know?
How many pages is it total, Rebel?
2,000 something.
It was like 2,400. About.
And I believe all of them never read it.
Yeah.
No, whatever. They just
never
got
read it.
November
I am. I am going to though.
I haven't even made it to page 2 of the comic book I just bought.
It's really amazing. The interns that come in, they do a lot of the work, and their assistants and their admins and everything, and they kind of give them the synopsis on what the information they've gathered from these bills. And I could be like one of those admins and say, yeah, for sure. It's not really a single payer thing. It's like everybody's got a pace thing, just like kind of bullshit. Your legislator, make them believe like it is not. If you guys know what I'm saying, just because they don't fucking read the whole things. They have other people reading it for them.
And then
Yeah.
and then the typical person will do the same thing. It's like, don't talk to me what you think is in the bill because of somebody else saying what they heard from somebody else or the news media, because I'm not listening to you. You hold no credit until I see it,
Well, they had Rand Paul up there. Rand Paul took a picture with the stack of the bill.
Oh, God.
And he actually, he read 600 pages. I mean, what did they have? They had 2,000 minutes to read 2,000 pages.
They rushed some bills through.
They did that with the Federal Reserve itself.
I don't understand like that's legal. Like you just got this gigantic Stephen King novel and you're expected to read it in just a few minutes. Like
it's not legal.
Yeah,
That's
it's like War and Peace. Here's War and Peace. I need an answer tomorrow. Sorry.
And Obamacare. Nancy Pelosi got up there in front of everybody, and we all know the phrase, blah, 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 blah. We have to pass the bill to see what's in it. We all know.
Why are they trying to save that fucking bill? It's a Republican bill. Come up with your own.
Not. No, it's not. It's both. It was bipartisan.
Originally,
it was originally by the Heritage Foundation.
I'm sorry. When the Democrats go ahead and agree to it, it is a bipartisan. I don't care who starts it, as long as both of them are agreeing to it.
Well, yeah, both of them went.
Don't just blame the Republicans.
I'm not just blaming the. If they're going to lie to us in front of our face on national television, at least,
and I'm just getting sick of them keep saying the Republicans.
And Trump came out on national television. I couldn't believe it. Trump was like, "Yeah, no one read the bill, but we're going to pass it."
Yeah, fuck you.
He told the truth. He told the truth.
Well, they all were telling the truth. That doesn't mean the truth is good. I want to vomit on the truth. I'm not letting anybody up.
Why? What are they getting paid for? Can't you
fuck us over?
Shut the government down. Who cares? Read the fucking bill. What if the bill actually said we all have to wear polka dot pants on Tuesdays?
It's so bad. Just in the 100 pages that I've been in, it is.
I'm not wearing polka dot pants on Tuesdays.
We've got our rights being violated like you wouldn't fucking believe in that fucking piece of shit.
I know it's nothing in there for us in that damn bill.
Nope.
Nothing. And they didn't have DACA in there either.
See that? That's what they were expected to read.
God damn, that's an intimidating stack of papers.
Isn't it?
Jesus.
And I'm only like maybe...
there it is. Rand Paul, and he got to 600 pages.
That's more than 600 pages.
Look at that shit.
Ridiculous.
You should see the tax code. What is that? 2,000? The tax code is like 75,000, if that, much more.
But
unbelievable.
At this point, though, it's like, the more damage they do, eventually it's gonna piss enough people off. Like the thing with Trump is, it's not directly good for the country necessarily. Some things obviously, maybe I can agree with, but it's indirectly good for the country. Like it's bringing awareness to shit. It's pissing people off, and you know what? the whole government, everything is being money's being siphoned out of, and they're using every part of our government to do what they want to do, make money off of it and hurt people. This shit is all coming to a head, and people are just, it seems like they're just trying to take as much as they can right now. I'm like, at some point, like, okay.
I have a question. I have a question. Chad, Snork, James, Eric, Shirley, Stevie, everybody. I have a question. Now, Rand Paul was just holding up all that stack. Who wrote the bill? Who wrote that?
They have a lot of people that are taking parts and putting together, and then they present it. And I'm going to find out. There could be like over 100 people writing the bill.
It's like
obviously the legislative branch did not write it. You know,
it's like 170 different acts.
Yeah.
That are combined into one thing, so it can be all signed off at once, and it's difficult to pick and choose which acts get going. So they can slip through the really bad ones. So I started at the back, and just immediately started seeing all kinds of junk. So I figure most people they're going to stick all the stuff in the back, since people read a few and then give up. So I started noticing that most of the acts are trigger acts. These are acts that are that if another act is passed later, these will suddenly be enacted in their entirety.
Yep.
One that I noticed was that these corporations that are working internationally would no longer have to file tax returns. Instead, all they have to do is prepare the documents. They don't have to give them to anybody.
So international corporations are writing these bills?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And then the next one was on the sale of data. It enables the president to decide if anyone can have any government data that we've collected on any of our citizens or people that are within the United States or around the world. Totally by executive order, you can say they can do it. And it's, like I said, I bet hardly anybody's going to notice these acts. Another act dealt with allowing people to go back to 1963 and claim extra tax deductions. So they can say, "We've been filing 54 years worth of tax returns. We can correct those now."
All right, so I got a quick question. Nash had a good question. This is my question. If we were to do this, each act, one by one, would anybody have a problem with each act or each piece being instead of these fucking bulk legislative moves? You know, it's like throwing a bunch of crap into the shopping cart, and like you're getting it at bulk, and then they just write it off, and then later on you find out there's so much pork and crap in it. You know, it's just and it doesn't help anybody. So what I'm saying is make them work for it and stay there and do the job and do one act at a time.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the way I saw it. Was that this was probably I think it was 170 acts.
170, yes.
Okay, of them probably 3 are valid, and
for like backup plans.
The rest of the ones are they can hide. They can only argue about the first 3, and they can bring up all kinds of things, keep all the focus on those 3, and nobody's even really realizing that there was a Free Trade Act hidden in one of them. All kinds of things. Every bad legislation we've seen in the last 10 years that got shot down is basically put in there as an act.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called again? What is this called?
Well, the one
What's the title?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Is it an omnibus bill? Is that what they're calling it? I might be wondering with that.
I got the thing. It's called the.
It's called the "Fuck Everybody" bill. That's what it's called. It's called the "Fuck You" and the.
It's the HR 1625 Consolidated Appropriations Act.
I just wanted to tell you, I think I've grown close to all you, and I just want to tell you I love you all. You all just rock, and I love you.
We
Love you
you all.
too.
Here is
Right back
the-
at you, Nash. Thanks, buddy.
I'm sending you the.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
In chat, I sent you the URL to the government site. My brain is hurting just from the 115 pages.
The one that got me the most though was, I guess I just spent 20 minutes and read 3 acts, and the Cloud Act, which stands for Clarifying Lawful Overseas Use of Data.
Yeah.
And everything that everybody's been objecting about with privacy and whatever is going to be overridden by this bill.
Yes, it is.
And it's big, hidden way back there, 170 acts of each of them, many pages each.
It's
and they're also written like spaghetti.
Yes.
All refer to this act, which refers to this one. It's many times more difficult than trying to find an individual noodle in 5 gallons of spaghetti.
We have to.
All I gotta say is, if you're used to sending pictures of yourself naked to anybody, even if you're doing it to your wife, don't do it. Don't fuck up anything, because everything we do now is.
Fuck that. I don't give a fuck.
I don't push shit out on social media.
Look at my.
No, really, you need to give a fuck, because they can take anything and use it against you later. And that's.
Well, I mean, shit. I'm already screwed. That's my whole 20s. I got plenty. I got plenty of shit. I mean,
I'm talking about now. Just started off with a different. I mean, Assange even says stop.
It's gonna be a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for ISPs, if the government asks for information now, they have to disclose contents of any wired or electronic communication or any record or any other information pertaining to a customer or subscriber within such provider's possession, custody, control, regardless of whether such communication, record, or other information is located inside or outside the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Totally just blew away the charter of the NSA as only spying on foreigners, because that just freed up all information is now accessible by the president.
Well, we're gonna have to fucking put some money together and create a Voltron, because it's gonna take a goddamn lot of money,
I'll be the head.
You see, but seriously though, I mean, we're gonna have to seriously, go after these people individually and bring the fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is all obviously, non-violent. That's
how many people?
It's insane. Bring the pain.
Bring the pain.
How many people have heard of the Korean Free Trade Act?
Oh, just the other day I was not talking about that. Go ahead. What is it?
That's section 107.
Mm-hmm. We're fucked. I mean, you can't even joke about it now. I mean, it is so Assange.
But it's the first time where people are becoming more and more aware. Like, as these people go in and try to make shit worse, eventually it's gonna trigger people to say, whoa, wait a second. And that's what it's getting to. So all it is like, okay, well, the motherfuckers that are doing this, because it's not gonna have to necessarily be undone. We're gonna have to reevaluate everything and make sure that all our shit's being ran efficient, where motherfuckers don't have their hands in the pot, where it's just feeding these certain families. And that's what it is. It's these certain families, this certain little group of people that are hands, and they create it and manipulate it and to keep coming money into their pockets.
and then they find people, and again, that's how that trickle down shit works. You feed certain people's in their pockets, and then they work for you, and then that kind of thing. People are getting hip to it once, and that's what they think. Go ahead.
And a lot of people can't stop wishing Obama's not gone. And I'm sick of them keep saying, oh, the Republicans obstruct them. But they didn't obstruct him from doing 7 intravenous wars overseas.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't stop him. Only reason they stopped him, when he asked to send troops in Syria, they said no, they're not going to do it. But he still stayed over there. And the other countries.
Even George Washington is still involved in our fucking oligarchy. They rule from the dead, even. I mean, it's just
from the grave. They're manipulating from the grave, right?
I mean, straight up. That's the truth. These people, like they have their lasting impression on people's lives. You know, certain people do. I mean, look at again.
Well, Obama was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he sucked balls. He
That's
was
not
he
true.
was terrible. He was bad. Just as much as Bill Clinton was bad, and George Bush was bad, and his father was bad. I mean, they're all the same person. They're all the same person. And Chad,
Obama was worse than Bush.
They're all the same person. And Chad, I'd love for you to write a song called
Shirley.
what the fuck? I
Don't
lost my
go
mind.
H.A. Goodman on us.
You just quoted a great
Goodman.
phrase. I was like, yeah, write that.
What did I say?
I want H.A. Goodman on you guys.
Yeah, because that's all he focuses on.
H.A. Goodman?
What happened?
Go ahead.
What happened?
He's like, H.A. Goodman? Eric woke up. Like, what?
I loved his interview with Richard Spencer.
I do as well.
I started to. What did you guys think of it? I didn't finish it.
Well, Richard Spencer still couldn't explain where at the end, if you in the area, it's all white now, and you still have other nationalities there, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to kill them? If they say they're not leaving because they've been there, he couldn't answer it. He couldn't answer it at all.
I only watched the part that Jamal showed on his live stream, and here's the thing. Even when I'm talking to somebody that I totally disagree with, I try to understand their thought process. Like, how is it they're coming to this conclusion? Like, where in this did it all go wrong? But, like, that BS is so all over the place that there's it's just like conflicting ideas left and right that I can't piece together. I mean, it was like exhausting trying to keep up with this guy and his ideas. It's like, how do you even, this guy must be like mentally drained after like 2 hours. Like, how do you keep up with that?
And my thing is, white folks are becoming the minority. So why is he talking about he want a white nation?
Well, here's we have to spin it around on him. Okay, you want this type of like white thing. Okay, well, you know that white people are inner whatever. We're becoming whatever. Okay,
interracial.
Right. Okay, so you want to give white people something to be proud of? Be the ones that bring shit back around. I mean, if white people are the majority now and it's a white system, include everybody else and actually give some goddamn honor to some white people, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about framing it. Like, we can almost, because it's to me it's so ridiculous. First of all, they're just programmed. We just have to figure out how to deprogram. And there's people that know this shit. There's professionals that know, from start to finish, how to deprogram somebody, how that shit works, how the brain works, to that's their expertise. Those are the people we have to help to gauge.
Because they started
Shirley and I talked about this the other night. You know, just about how hard it is to like wake up, even people in your own family. You know, who are like totally sucked in and like
Oh yeah, my husband
indoctrinated.
say I'm a Trump supporter,
We
and I'm
know you
far
are,
fucking
Shirley.
from it.
We know you are.
Hey, Eric, can you get that "Make America Great" hat over to Cheryl sometime? Just to fucking,
Oh,
I
that
don't know
would
if you want to
freak
wear
him
that. He probably,
out.
Yeah,
I just hope
we
his
should-
heart is good. That's what I'm
You
saying.
know what? I
We
may
should mail
go
it to
buy
her.
one just for that.
Just to
And
go
she
and
probably
trigger him.
freak out. He
We
gets
should
Do
triggered.
it. It would be fucking funny.
We should mail it to her and address to her and her husband, so maybe he'll
I
open
want
it
a
up.
selfie.
It could be like a Trump care package.
Get him some matching MAGA hats.
We could Photoshop Cheryl like with doing a selfie with Trump. Oh fucking!
You said you went to the supermarket.
He'll jump out of his skin.
And
Yeah,
I
somebody-
like how H.A. Goodman started his interview with Spencer. He started off with American history, and he was talking about the Revolutionary War. And the first person that was killed in it was a black man, which was Christopher Atticus. And he was like, "Oh, I never heard about that." Richard Spencer never heard about him.
Well, I did see that. He's like, well, he said, I got to do some more research on that kind of thing, or whatnot, something like that.
I remember Christopher Atticus. I was taught about him. He was killed. The first one, he put a bomb to his chest to save his soldiers.
This is why I was saying earlier, you know, I don't like white people speaking for black people. Just
Well,
don't
you
do
know
it.
what? You're buying.
Don't do it.
You're actually buying off on the Black Lives Matter bullshit. I've had black people tell me not to buy into that.
Well,
Because
let's
we're
get
not,
real about that.
No, listen, we are not black and white. We are more poor and rich. You got to get out of that framework of the black and white issue when it's actually the poor and rich, and they're trying to separate us like that. Because no, if a bunch of black people tell me I can talk for them because they're human, I'm gonna go for it, you know.
Well, and you're gonna have different people anyways that have different circumstances or they believe in different things. Some are gonna be completely pro-black and you know, some people are against the, you know, blacks and white dating. For me, you know, once you, and I say as a white guy, obviously hanging around or been around a lot of black people in different situations and whatnot, you know, once you start to understand a theme, a thread, a pulse, you know, for me, I realize, okay, well, now what I understand because I've been around and I've experienced certain things, I have to gauge that and figure out when I didn't understand that, you know, where my blind spots were. So when I'm having conversations with people, I can say, okay, it's not to say that, you know, it's not about, it's understanding that there's a different experience based upon, you know, different identities. And that's acknowledging that is one thing. You know, it doesn't have to, you know, it doesn't have to be intense. It just should be acknowledged and address it and adjust from there rather than be.
Well, a lot of black movements come out of a great place, but all of a sudden they get infiltrated, turned over. I mean, how can a black movement truly be a black movement if it's funded by a white oligarch? If George Soros, if George Soros is involved, you know, like a guy like Van Jones, and I'm sorry to call somebody out by name, and I will.
Oh,
Van
believe
Jones
you.
is a piece of shit.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Okay, thank you. He started with the Apollo, and he got funded by George Soros. He was responsible for a lot of Obamacare and the health care bill, and he's a sellout, and he's on CNN propagandizing left and right just because he wants his check. He wants his check. He sold out. So a guy like Van Jones is crap. Now, how can, the only way to do this is white people need to shut the fuck up.
You sound
No,
like that.
That's not true.
I don't think that because
Nash, you're falling into the fucking bullshit of that. Don't.
Okay, so Nash,
I have the right.
I'd like to hear black people speak for black people. I don't want to hear George Soros funded black people speaking.
So once a black person,
Please, one at a time.
Hang on. Let me just say, Nash, I don't want to alter your thinking by my thinking.
Look what I saw. I created a firestorm.
What I'd like to do, that looks fantastic, by the way, is remember back, and I said, people were together because they were all struggling together.
Yeah.
It's the elite that created the separation and started the
Yes.
narratives and started the fear amongst each other. And they keep playing on that with the media. They just keep throwing it out there, so that will continue to
I went to the head of the snake. I blame George Soros.
I can speak for Cheryl. Cheryl can speak for me. The pineapple people, whatever she wants to do, I'm okay as long as she's speaking for me. If she's really from the heart speaking for me, then I'm cool with that. Like any one of you. And that's good looking stuff, by the way.
Okay,
Ryan.
if you're telling me it's okay for me to speak for the black community, then okay.
If you're genuinely speaking for them,
if you're relaying what you've learned,
I'm an empath. I am totally there. You guys. I hope you get my point.
No, I do. Sure. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to ruffle feathers. You will ruffle feathers of people that don't get what we're trying to say. There's still a lot of people in the dark on this.
No, wait. We're saying something completely different than what he's saying.
But I understand what he's saying because
he doesn't want to offend people.
It's a muddy line because you want to be able to say, okay, I acknowledge I want to try to understand what's going on, but you don't want to the extent where you miss the point because I'm telling you what's going on, and that's what happens. Things become.
He's saying the walked in my shoes scenario.
But you know what? I've been a woman that's been raped, physically raped. I know men are raped financially sometimes. You can put the two together, what rape feels like. And I would have no problem with a man that's been financially raped over with the court system and all that, just speaking for me because he knows how it feels. And so black and white people have the same kind of issues, but
they do.
Yes.
But a lot of whites don't want to believe it. They think we're getting a lot of stuff, and we're not. We're at the lower totem pole than them. Even Hispanics are doing better than us.
What did you say, baby?
I said, a lot of the whites they think black folks are taking things from them, and we're not, because we're not getting anything. They're doing a little better than us, even Hispanics. We're at the bottom. When Trump came out talking about, the unemployment rate is great, that's a bunch of bullshit. I didn't believe it under Obama, the unemployment rate. It's higher than that. It's higher. I watched that guy on YouTube, Homeless Lives Matter, to see those people in LA that are homeless, sitting on the Hollywood stars in alleys and with tents. It's disgusting.
And yet Hollywood is fucking, lecturing us how Trump is evil and not focus on being a fucking human being.
Well, he really doesn't have it all put together. Let's just be fucking honest. We can be honest about Trump and everybody. Nobody's a saint in the game.
Well, you know, and he's a wild card in that aspect because, you know, a lot of that shit has to really do with his ego. He can, if people were more understanding of how to, you can manipulate him with his ego. You really can.
Yep.
And that's what people have to look at. It's like we don't want Pence, we don't want fucking Paul Ryan, we don't want those people. So it's so weird. It's such a weird predicament, you know, and situation. But I don't know.
What they need to do is ignore him on social media, on Twitter. Just don't say nothing.
I know, right?
I think they need to go after something that's gonna really fucking embarrass him. The thing is they're just using bullshit. So that's where he actually is more inclined to fight against it in a way because it's not true. You know what I mean? Like the whole Russia thing and the whole bullshit and what. So what the mainstream's doing is they're using Trump to delegitimize the real issue, what's going on. Again, like for example, the whole taking a knee. As soon as Trump said something about it, boom. You know, it made it about Trump and not about the police brutality. It changed the whole conversation, changed the whole dynamic. Again, it's the whole thing about what Trump with Russia was. It's to stop talking about WikiLeaks. Let's say Trump at Russia, and then they moved on. Okay, it wasn't about a hack. Now it's about something else. So it's still Russia, and again, no conversation about, you know, again, what WikiLeaks was. So it's all about shifting and using that. So
yeah, like today, Mueller is going to tie Trump to Guccifer too, because he supposedly exposed himself as a Russian agent, which I don't believe that BS.
Oh, Shirley, you know they are so desperate. They are so on their last leg.
They have nothing on them.
They have nothing, and they
Yeah,
are
what
just
I'm
like.
listening to CNN. They talking about Stormy Daniels.
But they got
how is she handling this stormy weather?
They got
the problem I have with this is that this is the gigantic distraction. We are not talking about the important issues. We're sitting here staring at and watching the television and the same old shit for what, almost a year now?
It's been almost 2 years.
We're not talking about anything important.
Actually, half of us aren't watching TV. Half of us are not that way. There's a big amount of us that are awoke.
Yeah, I am.
Well, the 21 of us in here are awake. I'm talking about a large portion of the hundreds of millions of Americans. You know, there's a big difference. There's 21 of us here. There's hundreds of millions of Americans, and a lot of them have no idea what the fuck.
I have a lot more.
Which end of an ace is up?
I have a lot more faith in people.
I was gonna say, I actually don't. I actually believe that people understand and acknowledge that our government's corrupt. It's ran by money. It's ran by crooks. I think that's it shows in how many that we only had 50% of the country vote. You know.
Yeah, but they haven't gone down the rabbit holes like we have. They don't.
Come on, Nash. Don't sit there putting yourself.
But no. Well, here's the thing. They're not active in. They're like sleeper agents, basically. It's like certain people need something to get behind. Like some people are.
Wait a second, Stevie. Have you ever? I mean, how many people can you talk to about GMOs or vaccines or just
everybody I talk to? I can.
Yeah,
a lot of people I
try to work in. I'm not really good at the small chit chat. So, like when I start to talk to people, it's like I try to get to know them on a deeper level than that. And when you start to talk to people about those deeper issues, it's like then it's like I don't really do so much talking as I do listening. I do twice as much listening as I do talking. So first I listen to them. I hear, you know, what their problem is, what is it that's bothering them, what do they see that's wrong. And I guarantee you, if you ask most Americans, you know, most Americans would say, yes, they believe that the government is corrupt. Yes, they believe the media is corrupt. Yes, that all these things are wrong. They know these things are wrong. But the problem is they don't feel like they have any way of changing it. How many times do people say, yeah, but what are we going to do about it? You know, why we can't vote third party because we don't have the power to vote third party. We can't do these
about
things.
Revolution. You're talking about something.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
I mean,
people don't
I'm talking
realize-
about the
Hold on 1
depth,
second. Let me just
the
finish this real
depth
quick.
of what's wrong. I mean,
Nash,
like,
yes,
So-
they do.
Okay, so you've got to let people finish their points, please. Stevie.
Yeah, I was just really quick. I was just going to say, you know, people don't realize the amount of power that they have, and that's the biggest thing that I see stripped away from people is that they feel powerless in a system that they're just trapped in. It's like you're just stuck in a undertow of just, you know, what can I do to get out of this? But it's like we have no idea the things that we are capable of when we push ourselves. I mean, like I was one of those. That's why I spent so much time checked out of the political. I used to go around saying, well, I'm not political. I don't understand that stuff. Me, the political junkie, like I would go around and say, well, I'm not political because I didn't think, why would I waste my time and my energy on that kind of stuff when I have no way of affecting it? So let me just check out and I'll go to work and I'll take care of my kids and I'll watch American Idol, you know, like, you know, that's, you know, what I did. But, you know, once Bernie Sanders came around, not that I'm too big of a fan of him these days, but back then it's like, he made me feel like I could do something. And that's why you see people like Obama, you know, that would get so many people that would come out to vote because it's like, damn, I can do something. I can actually do something for a change. You know, it's just like if people knew that they had this in them, all this power, man, this shit wouldn't keep. We'd have third party, we'd have 5 parties. This shit would not stand.
Especially when that bird was on that podium just watching Bernie. That was a sign he was supposed to win.
That was the fucking pinnacle of it all. That shit makes me cry.
Yeah.
When you think about it, emotional shit. It's the only time, you know, I felt like, of course, 9/11 when that happened, like, you know, you get caught up in that and everybody feels together. Everybody feels like, oh shit, we need to be watching out for shit, whatever, blah, blah, you know, and it had, but it was the only time that that spirit of, we're going to make this shit happen. And everybody was so on point. There was the media blackout. The media blackout helped. If they would have did it regular, Bernie Sanders probably wouldn't have got as big. It was almost like them actually making the effort to cheat and to do all this shit brought more illumination on what they were doing, and
But actually, Bernie won the nomination. They took it from him. Because Cliff Ehrenbeck sent him a letter telling him he won. Because he said, I was watching Election Integrity during the primaries, and they were having meetings, and Cliff Ehrenbeck and Bob Fortakus, they were there to investigate election fraud. And they said who's ever working on Hillary Clinton's campaign is doing a disservice to her. Bernie Sanders actually really want to win that nomination. But they took it from him. And I'm still wondering what Obama said to him when he invited him to that damn White House.
That is like, you know, when I think about the bird part of it.
The bird.
you know, I'm not.
And normally a bird fly in a building means somebody's going to die.
I'm not going to sit here and try to make myself believe that he was faking it because I don't want to get hurt. But I have to believe that he was really honest, and that look that he gave that bird was so adorable and so Bernie, you know what, the Bernie I fell in love with. And then people. Yes, and I don't want to believe. I'm sorry.
They stole that election from him because she didn't even have enough delegates at the convention.
Then you go to that time that he walked out of Obama's meeting with him, and then you see a completely different Bernie, and it's just like,
Him and Jane, they both look different, Rebel.
Fuck them.
It's like, so we what, we can't depend on anybody to go up against the fucking oligarch. I mean,
and maybe that's the point. Maybe we have to. Maybe
I'm
we
sorry,
have to go
guys.
I'm. It's all about being strategic in how we get the attention, because it's a conversation. It's having the topic of conversation be the right topic that leads to everything else, and that they can't use, or they can't throw something out there and do all the misdirect bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be something that even when they do the misdirect, that topic, again, like I say, it's still at the forefront. So like, you maybe using Bernie, I don't know. Maybe that's why I think punching left is going to be the best bet to because it's ruffling feathers. Like, certain people that think that they're doing good are not fucking doing good. If you're propping up, you're just as bad as the motherfuckers that are actually doing the bad deeds. You're that's why, I mean, at this point, for me, there's no way I could ever vote for him or ever support him ever again, ever, because I know he has a threshold, and he that's his character. That's where it ends. Like, the talk's good, the momentum's good, it's great, but when it gets to fucking balls to the wall, you're a coward. 70-something years old, you've been fighting this whole shit your whole life, and you get to that point and you say, okay, sorry, like Hillary Clinton, like, really?
At least say something. At least tell
I mean, fuck, take me out. You know what I'm saying? At 70-something years old, you've been fighting this for your whole life. Fucking come and get me. God damn it, come and get me. Like you 70-something years old, you should, and you believe in this so much. I don't know. Maybe it's different when you're 70-something years old. It's not worth it, I guess. I don't know.
Just give her a flight of stairs, man. She'll fall down. Don't worry.
It's not her we're
she
talking
can't walk
about.
She can't walk a flight of stairs.
Yes, we're not talking about just her.
I want her.
And if he's running in 2020, they still gonna have it rigged, because Obama set for the Department of Homeland Security to handle our polling station. They talking about putting Secret Service at the polling stations now.
So voting. We're gonna. It's got to be a mass demand.
Yeah.
Mass demand, and the part of it is conversation. Because when motherfuckers are talking about certain things, that's when media, everybody goes into a frenzy, try to backtrack, try to it's controlling the conversation. That's what it's about. If we can control the conversation, a motherfucker doesn't have to step foot outside, doesn't have to fucking march, because once the conversation's out and people are talking about what needs to be, then the establishment throws certain people under the bus. Low totem people, or people that, so if you go after somebody and they're connected to it, they'll throw them under the bus. So they don't get, or they'll double down. Like Stevie said, they'll double down. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
I love my country. It helped to hear James earlier just say, I just love my country, because I've been afraid to say that, because it's like, if I say I love my country, I don't know.
You love this country?
Yeah, I do. I love my country. I was born here, and it's not bad to want. I love my country. It's not bad for me to actually feel that, and just because there's an oligarch that is just out to destroy.
Well, from my perspective, I can't love this country.
The country does not represent the oligarch to me. The country is we the people.
Yeah, the idea, the American
I want to
idea.
hear what Shirley has to say about that.
Go ahead.
Me? I think you love what you love. I mean, Shell's well within her rights not to love the country. I mean, Amanda's well within her rights to love the country. I mean, who used to say who loves what and who should love? You know, should you go out and tell the Republicans that they shouldn't love the country because of the way it is? I mean,
No.
I love people. You know,
all
like
those wars.
What?
Go ahead,
Go,
Rebel.
Stevie.
What,
Yeah.
Stevie?
Yeah, I mean,
Stevie.
I mean, it's just like I don't. You know, that's kind of how it started out with. You know, I started out with the states, and I was like, man, you know, I spent so much time hating my state that it wasn't. I realized it was like I didn't hate my state. I hated what they were doing to it. You know, so it's like I love the people here. I love the environment here. You know, the mountains and everything. It's just a beautiful place. And I'm sure all of y'all could say that about your states. I mean, it's just there's so much beauty in the people and in the landscape. But then when you look at the people that have the power to change what goes on in your community, that's not, I don't love that. I don't love the government. I have no love for them. I have no love for media.
Right.
It goes in and wants to laugh at people that are in pain, that are in suffering, and make fun of poor people and Bernie Sanders voters and, you know, stuff like that. It's like, you know, it's not the place. It's like home, you know, home can change. Homes can change houses. Does not matter. You know, it's all about the people that are in it. And that's why I love my state and I love my country and, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's not
Well,
about
Stevie, I can agree with you on that. I love the people in the country, but
I
I
hate
don't
the-
like what our country is doing, and I don't like what my city and state is doing.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what
So
I
I can
meant.
agree with you on that.
That's what I meant. The country to me does not represent the rulers of this.
And that goes across the board, you know. I mean, people in other countries. I love people in other countries. It's not the people. It's, of course, you know, the
What?
government.
And that's
But my thing is, the people in the other countries are getting the stuff that we should be having.
I
never
agree.
forget watching Michael Moore's documentary "Where to Invade Next." That movie was excellent.
Shirley, I said earlier, I said put the oxygen mask on your face first, and then you can help others, right? Or, you know, teach a man to fish. And I'm right here
And they
in America.
killed Gaddafi.
This is where it counts. I don't want to see our billions and trillions go overseas and get in debt for what? When my fellow Americans are in trouble, you know, like we the money should be spent here.
It's like they want those countries to be like how they treat us here. Because Gaddafi, he gave them free medical. They had what else? College.
Yeah,
And free electricity.
if you got married, you got benefits. If you had children, you had major benefits. They tapped into natural water. He wanted to start, of course, the Golden Hour, which everyone knows. But I mean, there was so much more that was going on in Libya.
Yes.
Than people realize. And yeah, he was doing good. He was actually doing good for his people.
So that's
wait a minute. Does
I was saying,
Gaddafi have
damn communists, right?
Does Gaddafi have another son?
James, you're stealing my line.
Does Gaddafi have another son? Because I know him and one son was killed.
Probably.
Does he have another son?
I believe so.
He's talking about running for president for Libya.
I mean,
you know, I think that the important thing about is the distinction. You guys talk about like the difference between our country and the people that run our country, because it's people. There's a small amount of people when you look at the grand scheme of things that are representing everybody. I mean, they're representing the idea of the country. They're the ones that are causing the problems, and then other countries are feeling the wrath. They think us, America as a whole, including the people, are bad when it's just the governments again. Making the distinction is something that you don't hear people talk about because it's important. It's just like corporations or whatnot. It's the people, individual people that run corporations a certain way. Because there's people that again work in corporations that are may or may not have a certain bad ideology or bad thing. It's just it's.
I just want to ask one question, and it's straight up. Does or has the CIA bring drugs into America?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I held to the yes.
Why they got the military guarding them poppy fields?
Yeah.
We've got some in our face.
Yeah,
I think that answers a lot of questions right there.
That's been going on in history. They used that to break up the Black Panthers.
So wait a second. We're paying our tax dollars to fund the CIA so they can poison us, and then they can lock us up in prison. And what a cycle this is. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. What a great job. Way to go, America.
Yay,
Let me ask.
America. All right, guys, listen. Cheryl, I got to go pretty soon. Make it quick. We're going to go to Ryan's. Hang out with Ryan. I think
you got different states suing the pharmaceutical companies. I'm like, okay, but that politician, governor or whoever, they receive money from the pharmaceutical companies. So how you going to sue someone for the opioid addiction and you receive funds from that company?
And so does every television commercial, every television channel you watch. I mean, you watch Fox, you watch this. Every commercial is, take this pill. Ask your doctor. What do you mean, ask my doctor?
Yeah, ask your doctor if that erection.
Can you scan that in, James?
Yeah, you guys remember this? We were making these pictures.
Can you scan those in and send them to me?
I'll scan them.
Yeah, scan them because I want to get a bunch of them like made up and shit like that.
Okay.
Vector files.
This is a good one. I did a fly.
I just wish they had this outcry when the crack epidemic was going on in the communities, even in the white areas.
This is all CIA run. This is all a psyop, and so is the hippie movement. Totally started CIA. Yes, Grateful Dead and free love, drugs, and blah blah blah, and all those crazy cults. CIA started that shit. You better recognize.
It actually, heroin has been fought for a long time, and crack came in later after heroin.
Yeah, but they treated crack like it was a disease. They put black folks in jail, and you had some low-class white folks on it.
You were
not only that, they made movies about it. They perpetuated it. They put New Jack City out there. They this and that. They were just like, yeah, this is how it is.
You guys weren't heroin junkies then, because it was a stigma attack.
I got hooked up on drugs.
Wait, I wasn't done. And then there was 3 movies that was done about heroin junkies. And what was his name? Eric Clapton. He was in that movie. But
they didn't start focusing on it till Christy. I think Christy started it. Because a friend of his, somebody with money, was hooked on heroin.
They were focusing on it when I was in high school, because I know I was a part of that scene, and it was the stigma that was attached to us was horrid.
What year was you in high school?
It's okay. you guys, we got to get going. But I wanted to just say, Scarface, say hello to my little friends, okay? I mean,
And that was just so
I'm gonna shut off. I'm gonna hang out with Ryan for a little bit. Hopefully, we'll go over some SpongeBob SquarePants fonts. And Snork is naked.
Oh, nude. Snork is nude.
Snork, woohoo!
He's showing skin. Look at that.
That's hot.
That is so
That's hot.
sexy.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
I don't even want.
So you could be like
My
sex.
sunglasses
We're going to
on.
Ryan's.
God damn, son. God damn.
Wow.
The glare. No. All right. See you guys later.
All right.
We're going to
See
Ryan's.
you, James.
All right. Aloha,
See ya.
guys. Thanks for coming
Bye.
on.
Thanks, James. Love you.
Love you, man. Hi, Eric.
Bye.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Bye. Good to see you too.
I'll see you in
Guys,
a little
take
bit.
care. Will do.
Thanks for coming on, Nash. Go. Do you know how to get to Ryan's? Okay. Woo! All right. Good show. People come on. This is the team. You guys are welcome to come on anytime you want. Great place to vent. Great place to hang out. Great place to get your thoughts out and get it out and just feel, and get some feedback, and when it comes to, and this is a topic that gets touchy every time, race, right? The race divide. So I haven't, and I understand what Nash is saying, and I do understand what Rebel is saying. But if you haven't walked in a man's shoes, then it's probably not a good place unless he's okay with it for you to speak on his behalf. So I understand, Nash, but the thing is if you genuinely are trying to help the masses or everyone, and people will feel that, people will know that. I think once you become a certain age, like over 30 at least, or some people are smarter than that, like, that can read, body language and the way somebody's talking, and if they're really giving a shit, they can understand how people are feeling about certain topics and issues and things that are happening out there. And yeah, nobody's happy with the legislators, the judiciaries, the executives of this nation. I call them the Dumbocrats and the Republicans. But I'm not saying that about, and we never say that about, I know we never say that about the U.S. voting republic, or the people that are, sadly have become sheeple. And it's not their fault. I was a sheeple. I've been there. And once you start to dig a little deeper, do your own due diligence, don't listen to us. Do it, find out for yourself. Really dig and talk to the horse's mouth and find out for yourself, who's really fucking you over. You'll realize that these two parties aren't really giving a shit about you. They care about their money and where it's coming from. It's like I say, it's time for a third party to come in and start fucking smacking people around. Or at least get them to watch and pay attention, at least. But it's getting really bad. And we're at the precipice. We are at the precipice. And we need to start doing things now. So anyway, thank you guys all for coming tonight. I truly appreciate it. It always seems like my frames are crooked, but I swear I level them just to test it. It looks like they're... Anyway, thank you all for coming. Super big aloha to everybody for showing up, and a big mahalo. RSFO, see you at Ryan's Herald Heritage, good stuff. Robert Pookie Ray, good seeing you guys. Aloha nui to everybody comes on. I still don't see Forsaken that much. She used to come on. Where's Jenny Lynn? I miss her. What liberal and conservative media have done is create a dynamic. It's true, RSFO. They've created this dynamic of a separation. They have wedged topics, wedging issues. SJW rhetoric deepens the rift. Exactly. It just creates a giant void. Oh, I totally agree, bro. All right. Hopefully you guys will hang out at Ryan's. I'm going to jump on there. Guy's got a cool page. Hopefully my page will look like his sometime soon, but he knows what the fuck he's doing with that graphics and shit. I'm still working on it. Anyway, aloha nui. Thank you very much. Mahalo nui.